Control. never get it anyway. Conquering the impossible. I'll wear the smile on our face. We work hard, we play harder, we push it to the limit, going farther and farther. We work hard, we play harder, we push it to the limit, going farther and farther. Grind all day, we dance all night. With body freaks and nature, with body freaks, body freaks. Grind all day, we dance all night. With body freaks and nature, with body freaks, body freaks. Body freaks, body freaks. With body freaks and nature, with body freaks, body freaks. With body freaks and nature, with body freaks, body freaks. We work hard, we play harder, we push it to the limit, going farther and farther. We work hard, we play harder, we push it to the limit, going farther and farther. Grind all day, we dance all night. With body freaks and nature, with body freaks, body freaks. Grind all day, we dance all night. With body freaks and nature, with body freaks, body freaks. They don't know how we do it. They'll never get it anyway. Conquering the impossible. I'll wear the smile on our face. Grind all day, we dance all night. With body freaks and nature, with body freaks, body freaks. Grind all day, we dance all night. With body freaks and nature, with body freaks, body freaks. Body freaks, body freaks. With body freaks and nature, with body freaks, body freaks. Grind all day, we dance all night. With body freaks and nature, with body freaks, body freaks. Grind all day, we dance all night. With body freaks and nature, with body freaks, body freaks.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The foe in affection, I summon and dumb it. Cause bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The foe in affection, I summon and dub it.
All of my dollars on coupe, so hit me them. All of my dollars on coupe. All of my dollars on coupe, so hit me them. All of my dollars on coupe. Minute, with your average, I'm as you all no more.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's special live meeting. My name is Ryan Holyoke. I am not Kris Krohn. I'm going to introduce you to him in just a moment. Tonight, you are here to figure out and discover how to capitalize on the post-inauguration real estate boom and make 27 times your money. That's right, 27 times your money. That is an incredible claim, and we're going to spend tonight showing you exactly how to do it. One specific thing I want to call your attention to as I guide you through how to make the most of tonight's meeting. Take a screenshot here. Past performance is not an indicator of future performance. There is risk in investing, so make sure you understand what we're going to show you tonight and how it implicates and affects you. Here are a couple of guidelines. Take some notes on this because it's very important for you to maximize tonight's meeting with Kris. We're going to be introducing him here in just a moment, and I want to make sure you have every possible advantage to get your questions answered and make sure you know exactly what steps you need to take to get that 27x multiplier. First of all, tonight is a live experience, so don't miss out on any of the opportunities. Get in a distraction-free zone. Make sure that your phone is off. Make sure that it's muted. You've got a place to take notes. When you are in the chat, lighting up questions, comments, that is the best way to be engaged and make sure that you're figuring out exactly what it is that you need to do. The gold nuggets that you share, those that you take from those others that are in the chat, those are going to be the ways that you figure out what those next steps look like. So light up the chat, drop those questions because we will have an opportunity for Q&A with Kris towards the end of this call. Make sure that you're ready to learn, that your mind is open for new ideas because some of these things are going to be counter-cyclical. We're going to have some fun, so make sure you're in a place to do that. Next up, who is Kris Krohn? Most of you probably know him. You've been following him on social media. You're one of the millions of followers he has, giving him millions of views every single week. But here's a few things you might not know. He was financially free at the age of 26. He's done over $2 billion in real estate transactions. That's 6,500 plus homes and counting daily. He owns over 400 businesses. He's a best-selling author. He's done thousands of events, millions and millions of weekly views. But one thing you might not know about Kris is his intention to help everybody that he can. Being financially free at the age of 26, he could be doing a lot of other things with his time. But I have been a personal benefactor of his mindset, his systems, and his game plan. When I first met Kris 5 years ago, I was at what you could easily say was a rock bottom scenario. I was $80,000 in debt. I never thought I'd be able to get into the game of real estate. I was massively overweight, but through the course of connecting with Kris and in getting a game plan from him, figuring out how to use his systems, I lost 123 pounds. I've doubled my income. I'm in the real estate game. I'm making moves and excited for life. And this is what working with the right mentor can do. And I'm excited to welcome and bring to the call Kris Krohn.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ryan, appreciate you, man. Thank you. And guys, welcome. Thank you for being here. Listen, if you're excited, listen, I want you to hit the chat and just tell me hello, where you're from, what you're most excited about for tonight, because I've got a couple hours, 3 hours lined up. We're going to talk about no money down real estate. We're going to talk about money down real estate. We're going to talk about how you win in this current economy, because there's a lot going down right now and there's a lot to be excited about. So Ryan drops a hey brother in the chat. He's the first on the scene. Let's freaking go, says Chazzy. Okay, we got Washington in the house, my hometown, Seattle, where I'm from. Scott says hello. Listen, if you guys are pumped about being here, bring the energy. Let's have some fun. We're going to learn a lot. And there's going to be an opportunity for some interaction. There's going to be an opportunity to do some game plans. Hello from Los Angeles with Cecilia, Oklahoma. Let's get it. Hello from New York with Olga. Welcome, welcome. All right, my friends, we got a lot to do. I got a lot to share. And let me tell you what tonight is really about. I'm going to prove that we can outperform 401ks and IRAs 27-1. But more importantly, 2025 is a time for you to be investing in the real estate market, and I'm going to be showing you exactly what's going down. Let me give you a quick update on what's happening here. Donald Trump took office in the last month. Now, whether you like the man or you don't like the man, I think he's done more in the last 30 days than we've seen in the last 4 years combined. I mean, if you agree, drop a 4 in the chat. If you don't agree, drop a 2 in the chat. Because right now, whether you like it or whether you hate it, there is stimulus in the economy. There's excitement in the economy. We're talking about $5,000 Doge checks, 20% of Doge rebates coming back on the $2 trillion that they've already uncovered. 450 government agencies, and it sounds like most of them are garbage. And it sounds like Trump wants to do away and he wants to clean up town since he can't be president again. This is important because I want you to understand some of his policies. We are missing, I want you to get this, 4.5 million homes in America right now. We've historically never missed so many. That's what needs to be built based on the demand for real estate. Now, the reason why you should care about that is because Trump has promised to bring rates down to 3% to make real estate affordable again. And by the way, if he gets rid of the tax code, if he gets rid of income tax, he's going to essentially add 30% more money on average to the average American's money supply, solving one of the biggest problems right now, affordability. So what's happening right now is epic for you and epic for me, because if we get rid of income tax and if we start making the tax code far more favorable for the hard Americans, if we start tariffing the rest of the world, what that's going to do. And then don't forget the mass deportations, right? So all of the labor that's building these houses is leaving. All of that drives the price of labor, the cost of goods and materials for what we get from our from foreign tariffs money coming in, and then we're missing 4.5 million homes. So what does it mean? It means that we're going to see a repeat of 2020, 2021. We're going to see in the next 2 years probably a $50,000 to $100,000 increase in the price of real estate across the country. Now, I know people, I've got 2,000 partners. I got partners 5 years ago that bought 5 homes with me. They're $500,000 richer right now because of what they did. So there's a lot that I want to cover tonight, but eyes on the screen. I want to be really clear. Tonight, I've got a lot to teach you about why we do real estate. And then right here, we're going to talk about how to make money in real estate when you don't got dough. By the way, if you're sitting here and you're like, Kris, I don't really have money in my bank account. I don't really have 401ks, IRAs. I don't even have a house. But I, like you, Kris, need to learn how to do real estate with no money. If that's you and you're excited to learn about that, drop a 1 in the chat for everyone here that's like, show me how to make money with nothing. Cecilia is the first out the gate with a yes, and Jonathan and Shayla, and looks like Kenya. And so that we've got our friends out there that are like, how do I invest in real estate when I don't have money? So says Micah, Gina, and some others. But then, eyes back on the screen, we're also going to talk about how do you make money with your 401k? You know, that thing that's rotting, collecting dust, and never going to be enough for retirement? How do you put that or an IRA or home equity into the game of real estate and multiply your wealth? Eyes on me. I want to show you this real quick. By the way, Ryan's on. He said, Kris Krohn partners have all made millions. And I got news for you, buddy. I got 2,000 partners. I started partnering back before 2008. And you know what happened to my partners between 2008, 2013? Made over $100 million in real estate. Why? Everyone said it was the worst of times, but it was actually the what? It was the worst of times. It was the best. It was definitely the best of times if you knew what you were doing. But there's a lot of people licking their wounds from 2008. I just want to thank Dawn right now for doing her hair in the background. It's just giving me something super entertaining. What's up, girl? I love it. You rocking out. You're multitasking. It's the way sometimes my meetings go down with getting the fresh up on the shaver while I'm also doing my meetings. So, all right. So welcome. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about what happens if you don't have money. We're going to talk about what happens if you do have money. And let's get clear on just a couple of quick facts. 70% of Americans remain in a financially unhealthy check-to-check state. There is a storm brewing. We're going to see if this administration can fix it. But as of October 2024, total U.S. consumer debt, $17 trillion, new record high. And if you guys look at the prices, they are just skyrocketing on everything. Can this administration fix inflation? I think they can. The problem is retirement's not going to be a reality. Americans believe they need $1.46 million to retire on $81,000 a year. In actuality, according to annuities, you're going to need $3.1 million to retire on $100,000 a year. So if you're not familiar with the math, I want to give it to you right now. I'd screenshot this, write this down. I'm going to tell you what I learned when I was 21 years old. In fact, eyes on me for just a second here. When I was 21 years old, I was in college and had this telemarketing job, and I hated the job, but it had a blessing. And the blessing was I talked to thousands of people. And for this particular financial company, the people I was talking to, they had been to college. They were now in their 50s. I was evaluating their finances. And as a young 21-year-old, guess what I found out? If you go to college, if you get a piece of paper that says you're smart and you work for someone else and you're good with your money, stay out of debt, work on paying off your house, 401k, IRA, guess what it means come retirement? It means, well, eyes on the screen. It means that the average 65-year-old has $254,000 in a 401k, which, by the way, they're living off of 90 grand a year. So guess what? They have 3 years worth of retirement at best, and then they run out of money. So you trade 40 years of working for 3 years of retirement. That's why we have a problem. Here's the bigger problem. You know what your 401k is actually averaging as of 2024 over the last 20 years? 4.2%. Guys, you work your butt off, you put your money away, and then it's not working for you. It's not doing anything for you. So we're going to change up the game. I'm going to show you whether you have money tonight, whether you don't have money tonight. I'm going to show you how to win. I'm going to show you how to crush it. So a couple more things that I want to show you right here is that if you take the $254,000 and subtract it from what Americans think they need, they're only $1.2 million short. Only $1.2 million. And it's like, what are we going to do about that? If you find this alarming, drop a 4 in the chat. I just want to know who my active listeners are out there. If you're like, yeah, we have problems. Yes, and I understand the Boston Tea Party was over a 3% tea tax. But if you guys see and believe that we have a massive problem here, it's huge. And so what I want to do is I want to show you the remedy for this, because 17 million Americans aged 65 and older, 1 in 3, they are retiring completely poor. All right, I'm going to crank through some of this because I prepared way too much content for tonight. Here's what I want to do. If you're excited about what Trump is doing, if you're a believer in how they're trying to take, by the way, $37 trillion of debt, when 5 presidents ago with Clinton, we had no debt. Do you guys know how bad 37 trillion is? Well, we give that money to the Chinese, and right now it costs us $1 trillion to service that debt a year. But we're only bringing in $4 trillion on taxpayer dollars. Hello? Did you guys get that? Can you imagine if 25% of your income was just going towards servicing debt? That is where previous administrations were aiming us to pay for things that we couldn't afford. And by the way, if you're liking what Doge is uncovering and you find it ridiculous what we've been spending our money on, our taxpayer money, your money, then I want you to drop a 1 in the chat. I just want to know who's awake. And it's possible that I have a couple of people here that are writhing in pain and agony saying, Kris, I can't believe that. Sounds like you're in favor of all the things that are happening right now. Here's what I'm in favor of. Clean up this country and keep America what it is today so it doesn't fall into socialistic and communistic eventual hands. We're moving way too hard in the wrong direction. If we want this country to be free, we need to fight for our freedoms. There are several here that actually agree with it. Let me show you what we're going to fix tonight. Eyes on the screen. What if your retirement could still beat during the economy? And I get some of you are like, whoop, I may have money for retirement, I may not. I may have a 401k, I may not. If you're broke, you're in the right place tonight because I was broke. Here's what I want you to know. Let's just assume for a moment, I want to give you some important numbers. You need 5th grade math to understand this stuff, and you want to understand this, trust me. Let's say that you worked your butt off. I see Scott in the room there. Scott, you're missing some hair. He looks like you've been around the block a little bit. I'm not calling you old, but thank you for being on tonight. Scott looks like he's been working hard. He looks like he lives in a nice house. Scott, if Scott had theoretically $50,000 in 401k or IRA, he would be on the 30-year average earning 6%. I got news for you. 50 grand, 6%. Do you know what it does in 20 years? It triples. It means it turns into $160,000. I got news for you. That's bad. You're going to work for 40 years, but in half of the working time, 20 years, your money's only going to triple in a 401k. Well, if you put that into real estate like we're going to talk about tonight, you'll never put your money in a deal where you make less than 25% a year again. I make 60% on average, and I'll get into that. But if all you do is follow my basic rules that I'm going to give you for free tonight to make 25%, that same $50,000 over 20 years turns into $4.3 million. Now, eyes on me. What is the difference between $160,000 and $4.3 million? Well, you can annuitize the $4.3 million. You can keep it in paid off real estate. And you know what it's going to produce for you? It's going to produce you almost $250,000 a year, as opposed to annuitizing $160,000 and having it produce around $400 a month. Do you see the drastic difference? There's a reason why 90% of their millionaires made it in real estate. Now, some of you here are not yet real estate believers. Some of you are crazy believers. If you know real estate is the way, but you haven't had a mentor or a coach help you do it the right way, drop a 5 in the chat real quick. Ryan's like, damn, bro. It's like, yeah, we're going hard and I got a lot to share, but I'm getting some 5s where it's like, I like the game of real estate, but I just don't know how to get into it. So I'm going to clear that up. By the way, I'm going to make you a promise tonight. How many of you, for those of you that have, by the way, real quick, if you've been following me for longer than just a day or weeks, but you've been following me for months or years, will you drop real quick a 7 in the chat? I just want everyone else to see here, like who we've got on. We got several here that have been actually watching me for a hot minute. I'm going to do something I've never, ever, ever done before. And that's not a marketing spin. Like I've never done this before. Tonight, I'm going to talk about 3 things that you do when you have no money, just like me. So that I'm going to give you the knowledge you need of what you need to do. And by the way, if you're like after this, you're like, Kris, I want you to be my mentor. I want you to be my coach. I'm going to be that for you. There are some of you here that are like, Kris, I don't want real estate as a job. I want it passive, bro. I want millions of dollars, but I don't want to work for it. I would like a partner that will do it for me. I'm going to also talk to you tonight about how I can be that partner for you. Right, eyes back on the screen. Let's just finish this comparison. $4.3 million is 27 times greater than your 401k. So I'm schooling the 401k when I'm just doing sucky real estate at 25%. Truth is, I'm averaging 60%. So look at the comparison. If you can see on your little screen there, the red line and the green line. Green is good, red is bad. Red is 401k, green is real estate. It's the compounding effect is massively different. Now, I'm going to show you if you want to go faster, because some of you are like, this is great, Kris, but Scott's like, I don't got 20 years, bro. I want to move a little faster. Scott, give me a thumbs up if you'd like a faster game plan. Yeah, 100%. Well, how we do that is actually by just doing better in real estate. So what happens if you're earning 32% in real estate? Because I appreciate an average of 32% per year on my money. Well, that same $50,000 doesn't turn into $4 million. It turns into $12 million. It multiplies that 3 times bigger. That's a 75-to-1 kicker against a 401k. And this is what it looks like. By the way, you're welcome to screenshot this. Red line is death. That's called a 401k and IRA or trying to pay off your house. The green line is if you do real estate on your own. The blue line is me. This is what I do when I invest in real estate. For those of you that are a little skeptical, because I'm going to have a couple of trolls. I love you guys. Brenda's like, I want to go faster. Okay. The chart is fire. Thank you, Ryan. I love your participation, brother. Guys, if you want to actually see proof, I am a numbers guy. So I want to be clear on something. Eyes on me. I want to be clear on something. I'm not a real estate guru. I'm not a trainer. I'm a guy that buys real estate every single day. When we say $2 billion of real estate and I'm buying every single day, that's actually what I do. What makes me different than everyone else is that I don't teach you how to go and do it. I actually take you by the hand and do it with you or for you. Why? Well, this is going to sound a little crass, but it's because I have trust issues. I don't trust novices. Malcolm Gladwell says you need 10,000 hours to become a master of something. And if you're not the master, you do not want to bet the farm on making a bad decision. By the way, there's 2 types of people. There's DIYers and done-for-youers. Do you guys understand the DIYers are like, I want to go to Home Depot, I want to go to Lowe's, I want to buy the materials, I want to fix up the house, and I want to hire someone to, and I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to live at that house, I'm going to fix that up. That's some people. And you're going to drop a 1 in the chat if that's you. Number 2 is the person that says, do not teach me to fish. Give me fish. Like walk me through it. I don't have my 10,000 Malcolm dollars. So drop a 1 in the chat if you're a DIYer. Drop a 2 in the chat if you're like, I want to work with an expert and have it done at the highest level possible. Now, if you look in the chat, you're going to see mostly 2s. Eric is a 1 right now. You're going to see a couple of 1s. And I'm not going to bash you because I started off as a do-it-yourselfer. But I will tell you the philosophy that my dad didn't teach me as a German immigrant that changed my life. And it's worth writing down. Ready? If you want something done right, don't do it yourself. Like you are the least qualified human being on the planet to do something you've never done. Are you kidding me? Like that makes no sense. That's like, hey, I only trust me. So I'm going to show up at the concert piano and I'm going to take the stage. I'm going to put my fingers on the ivory for the first time. And I'm going to play a beautiful garbage. You don't know how to play the piano. Why would you put your financial future into your own hands? It makes no sense. It's not how I got rich. Let me show you proof. Eyes on the screen. If you want to see that we're actually doing this, this is a deal I picked up in Florida. My average annual ROI, 37%. Here's another one. This one is in Memphis, 31.86% ROI. We'll go deeper into this kind of stuff. This is in Central Florida. I only invest in 5 markets out of the 324 that make up the US. This one's doing 40.55%. Nuts. That's my appreciation. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I'm going to step back for just 3 minutes and do the real quick. Well, who am I and how did I get started? Because I am 6'4", I have blue eyes, but I ain't got no trust fund. And so let's actually walk through a little bit how this went down. This is how I took $3,300 after it took me, by the way, took me 14 months to save that money. And then 4 years later, I turned it into 1.6 million. This is me and my wife when we were married super young. And I took $3,300 and I did a 3% down payment on this ugly, tiny 1940s bungalow. Now, the reason why I bought it is because it had a basement apartment that after I rented out, covered my mortgage. My wife and I lived upstairs for free. So in the game of real estate, the first thing I learned is that real estate can reduce my number one expense, which is your what? Your rent or your mortgage. Then I took the equity out of that house 12 months later and I used it to buy another investment property. Now, I still lived in the first one, but I used it to buy the second one. The second house was paying me $600 a month. And then what I did is, I bought it $80,000 below market. Then I used the equity in the second one to buy a new primary residence that my wife and I moved into. This is called house hacking. It's where you're getting away with cheap 3% down payments. And when you're young and don't have kids and you're willing to make some sacrifice, this was a brilliant move. My father-in-law picked up on what I was doing. I was getting ready to do my fourth deal, and he said, I thought you were kind of stupid and crazy and young and dumb because you're just a college kid with an undeclared major, but I see you doing all this real estate stuff and it looks like it's working. He decided to buy my next 5 homes with me. And then I realized something. I need more father-in-laws. I found people, Don like that one. I found people, 4 neighbors that have been tracking me for years, looking at this young kid who was doing some hot stuff in real estate. They all put up their 401ks and IRAs. And I basically got to 25 homes. Those 25 homes paid me $12,000 a month residually. And so when I graduated college, I didn't need to get a job. So eyes on me for just a second. I want to be really clear here. The reason why I got into real estate is because when I was done with college, I didn't want to have a job. It's not because I'm lazy. It's because I couldn't think of a job that I would like doing. 85% of people don't like what they do. I have a question for you. Do you love what you're doing? Or if you had the exact same amount of money so that you wouldn't have to work, if I could stroke you a check every week so you didn't have to go to work, would you still be at work? Drop a 3 in the chat if you'd quit your job if you replaced your income and it was totally passive. And drop a 1 in the chat if you're like, Kris, if you paid me $500,000 a year, I would still keep my job because I truly love it. I just want to know who my 1s and my 3s are. PR, Heavenly Bridge is a 1. Micah is a 1. So I just want to say, we got some people out there that are actually really loving their careers. A couple of you. Looks like Kris does and Lorena does. The most of you, however, you're like, get me out of this place. Like 40 years servitude doing something I don't really like doing. That's awful. So we're going to play the game a little bit different here. Eyes back on the screen. I went from 25 homes. I quit that job. I graduated college. And then the next year I bought 50 homes. And the year after I bought 100 homes. And then I started buying thousands. And this is what I learned. On 6,500 single family homes, we basically looked at all of the real estate, all the money, everything that we've been making, and we turned real estate into a science. And tonight, I'm going to give you the formula. I'm going to share with you the only type of investing worth doing in real estate. I'm going to show you how to do it when you do have money. I'm going to show you how to do it when you don't have money. There's something here for everybody. And I want to tell you one more thing. I don't think God made me super special. I think God made me pretty average. I mean, I wanted to be a doctor and I couldn't pass organic chemistry. But I will tell you that my wife and I, we just finished doing a 26,000 square foot addition onto our home. I think it's like a 35 or 40,000 square foot home now. My wife and I, we have a beautiful family. We travel the world. That's a picture of one of my jets. And I feel super, super blessed at the incredible life that I live, the people that I hang out with, my children, I love them to pieces. And real estate made all this possible. I want you to imagine for a moment, instead of you just looking at someone like me doing real estate, what would happen if you did it? Like I've been to 50 countries around the world. I was Ukraine 3 times in the last 3 years, bringing millions of dollars of aid to all sorts of people. We were literally pulling people out of war zones. I did some of that personally myself. We had babies that when the war started were going into the NICU and they didn't have the ability to give them their proper surgery. So we brought medical devices to bring them out of country to Poland. We've been doing some incredible work in Guatemala with sex traffic victims. And then I've got a safe house in Tijuana where we pull girls out of sex slavery as well. Later this year, we're going to Africa again. And we've got kids there that we're going to be helping. Like my mission is for me to succeed as much as possible, but it's for you to succeed as much as possible. And I want to be clear what tonight is about. I don't need you and you don't need me. But I'm going to be a billionaire in real estate because I want to make $1 billion in the first half of my life and I want to give it away in the second half of my life, just like Dale Carnegie. That's my goal. That's why I'm here. And I want to just share with you how I do it. Some of you here tonight, I'm just going to show you how to make money in real estate, and you're off to the races. There's others of you here that are gonna say, Kris, you've got 2,000 partners, let me be 2,001. Like, you've got a system, let me just plug into it, help me become wealthy. And every time I partner with someone 50-50, where you put up the money and I do the work, guess what happens? I know how to put this into this and make 60% per annum on the money. It's insane. But I've done it like we've proven it over the last 20 plus years. And when I do that, if we're 50-50 partners, when we make a ton of money in real estate, half the profits are yours and half the profits are mine. You'll make more money with me than you ever will on your own. It gets me to my billionaire goal. And trust me, I've got the foundation to spend it and do the good in the world. So I want to be upfront. That's my mission. That's who I am. So I've got to help. I got to get to 10,000 partners that I'm building portfolios for. That gets me to my billionaire goal. And all of my partners get to become mega multimillionaires. By the way, if that makes sense, I want to just reveal that up front, because some of you are like, I might like that or I don't like that. But if, out of curiosity, drop a 3 in the chat if you're like, if you do all the work and we split the profits, that totally makes sense for me. Drop a 3 in the chat if that's interesting to you. As well as if you don't have money, guess what? I'm going to show you how to do real estate as well. So we're going to get to all of that tonight. Thank you guys. There's a lot of 3s there. And I get Ryan's like, I want to do some of the work. And I'm like, Ryan, I love you. I'm going to show you how to do some of that work. I'm going to show you how to crush it. Okay, eyes on the screen. Here's a reminder on where we're going tonight. We are going to talk about how to make money in real estate without any dough. And then afterwards, we're going to talk about how you make money in real estate with 401ks, IRAs, savings, and home equity. And next, I want to just offer a gift to everyone here, because I'm going to do some live game plans. Out of curiosity, if I were to sit down with you and do a one-on-one game plan and give you a multimillionaire's perspective on how to rearrange your assets, whether you do or don't have them, to make millions of dollars, if you would like that opportunity, type a 1 in the chat. Who wants a game plan, a free game plan from a multimillionaire, right? Well, I'm going to do that for some of you tonight, and I'm going to show you how you get the game plan, and we're going to do it for free. Here's what I want you to do. By the way, some of you are like, I don't really know what a game plan is. I did a game plan for Matt. He had a 401k and an IRA and a half paid off house. And within 5 years, I got him to $18 million. Julia rents a house, has no money. I showed her a game plan to get to $4.3 million. And Carson had a little in his home equity, but he had some crypto and savings, and I showed him how to get to a 6-figure passive income. So a game plan is where you get a certain amount of money by a certain amount of time. By the way, if you have financial advisors and planners, and I might have some of them on tonight, let me just tell you where they drive me nuts. Eyes on me. I can't stand it when a financial planner has products but can't tell you when you're going to retire with the money that you want. And that's because they have very conservative things like 401ks and IRAs and mutual funds that don't get you where you want to go. I'm going to play the game different. If you get a game plan with me, I'm going to show you how much money you can have by a certain date so that you can know how to retire the way you want. Raise your hand physically if you'd like to have that. All right, excellent. Here's how we do it. I want to give you guys a game plan. Xavier, go ahead and drop it in the chat. We're going to livegameplan.com. I want you to do this. Pick up your phone or whatever. Open up a second browser window. We're going to do it together. It'll take 90 seconds. I want you to go to livegameplan.com. It's in the chat. You're going to click on it. You're going to open it up. I see Tony wants a game plan. Jennifer wants a game plan. We're going to do them later. I need you to give me your information first. It takes just a minute. We're going to go to live game plan, and you're going to answer like 8 questions. First of all, tell me who you are so that we can contact you and actually arrange your game plan. And then here's what I want you to fill out when you go there. What's your job? If you got one, just like, where does money come from? What's your annual income? Tell me about your credit. I do not need credit to make money, by the way, but I like to know because it gives me some options when I do your game plan. It's okay if you have bad credit or excellent credit. The next question is really important. If you were to add up just roughly your savings, your 401ks, your IRAs, your stocks, your life insurance, just wherever you've stashed cash, how much do you think you have there in those things? So you might sit there and be like, well, I think I got, 40,000 in an IRA and 20,000 in a 401k. That's 60. And I keep about 5,000 in savings. That's 65,000. I got a little brokerage account with $4,000 in it. I got probably 69, whatever, $1,000. So I dropped 69,000 there. Some of you here don't have money. Some of you here literally have millions. It doesn't matter to me because I'm here to get you where you want to go. Here are the last couple of questions. Do you own a home? What's it worth? And what do you owe? So you might say, well, I think my home, and I don't need to know for sure. Don't go to Zillow. Just, I think it's worth, $500,000. And I think I owe probably somewhere around 180 or 200 or whatever. And then lastly, answer yes on those last two questions. Would you be willing to do a live game plan with me? And if you don't get a chance to do one with me, do you at least want one of my trained coaches to make sure you still get a Kris Krohn game plan using my software? And so if you want a game plan, put yes, and then boom. Ryan says, my wife and I together, we aren't even sure about the IRA. Ryan, just throwing just a made up guess of a number is good enough for me. Now, when you're done, that's it. I'm going to guarantee that everyone here tonight that fills that out, livegameplan.com, gets a game plan with me or with a member of my team. By the way, Lawrence is on, says, I'm a new partner. And Lawrence, congratulations. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. We're doubling down on some knowledge and information, and it's time to go buy some real estate. Okay, when you're done filling out those 8 questions, I want you to put a 4 in the chat. And that'll just kind of tell me real quick who's finished. And Ryan says he's in like swimwear. I'm like, what kind of swimwear? Fashionable swimwear. All right, cool. Looks like the rest of you are coming in. We're going to take a last 30 seconds as we move on because I'm going to talk about the 7 reasons to why real estate. Because there's some of you here that are like, I don't know, Kris. Like, when you say real estate is good, what do you mean? I don't know if I agree with you. And so with that, hopefully you've finished livegameplan.com. And we will be doing live game plans at the end of this. All right. Can you believe I do all this without a bathroom break? You guys can turn your camera off, please, if you do that. Go to the bathroom, take me with you. Don't miss a beat. I don't get to do that. Like, look at this, guys. It's like party up top, party below. There's no toilet under here. So that's okay. We're having fun. We're going to go hard. Okay, eyes on the screen. Let's go. We got 7 reasons why to move a 401k, an IRA, or home equity into real estate that is passively owned, making 27 times more money. And here's the first thing you should be aware of, just as true as the day Dale Carnegie said it. 90% of all millionaires become so through the game of real estate. There are 7 reasons. If you want to screenshot it, you guys are welcome. I'm giving you the license to take these notes. You can screenshot and keep them for yourself. If you're old school, you can actually hold your camera up to the screen and snap a picture. That works too. If you're an Apple user, I love you more, and you just go Command-Shift-4. All right. So the way it works here is that there are 7 reasons why I invest in real estate. And the reason why I invest in real estate is because I want to be financially free and I want my money to make passive money for me. The first of the 7 reasons is appreciation. Real estate goes up in value, but it can go down in value. I buy entry-level single-family homes below the median, which means that even in 2008, I didn't get hurt in the real estate crisis, didn't lose a single home. So I have a specific strategy. So number 1 is appreciation. Now, eyes on me for just a second. I want you to hear this. There are 324 markets that make up the United States. I only invest in the top 5. I will reveal those markets tonight. The reason why I specialize in those markets is because I get extraordinary appreciation. And that appreciation makes me a lot of money, but only one of 7 ways of making money. So number 2, cash flow. When you buy real estate, when you collect the rent, when you pay the mortgage, there's leftover money. That is called cash flow. An example here would be I rent my house for $1,500 a month, but my mortgage and expenses are $1,100, so there's $400 left over. That's a $400 cash flow. The third reason why we do real estate is because there's leverage control. The banks will give you 80% of the money. The banks are going to help you build a portfolio, and you're going to make money on their money. Eyes on me. Did you guys know that banks, when you leave the bank, give you a dum-dum or a sucker for a reason? Think about it. You deposit your hard-earned cash into the bank. In your savings account, they're going to give you who cares percent. Then they're going to go ahead and turn around, and they get to 100x your money with financial easement. What they do, if you guys understand what they get to do in multiplying your money. So when they basically rent your money out at 6 or 7% on a loan, they're making 6,000 to 7,000% return on your money. 6,000 to 7,000. That's why you've never walked into a grubby bank in your life. They give you a sucker and a dum-dum on the way out and say, thank you for your money. We're going to go make a lot of money on that. So we're going to get the banks at their own game. We're going to use their money to make money. Leverage control, back on the screen, gives you a 5x in real estate, which means if I'm in a market that appreciates at 8%, multiply it by 5, I'm now making 40%. Number 4, tax benefits. If you buy enough real estate, you stop paying taxes. I will prove that to you before the end of the evening. We'll do a scenario on an engineer that makes about $130,000 a year, and I'll show you how much real estate he buys to never pay taxes again. That's real. Number 5, market resilience. Guys, you understand that the real estate market can go up and down, but if you buy 30% below the median, then you don't experience that. For example, 2008, the real estate that I bought, a $2 million house in 2009 became a $1 million house. $1 million house became a $600,000 house. $600,000 house became a $400,000 house. $400,000 house became a $320,000 house. $320 became $250, $250 became $230. When you get 30% below the median, your real estate actually finds huge insulation. So when you say, but Kris, what about the last 1,000 homes that you've bought? On average, I pay between $200,000 and $250,000 for them. The national average is $460,000, $430,000. Okay, here's benefit number 6. Passive investment. When you buy real estate and your money is working for you, but you don't have to put time in, it allows you to make more money and not have to work. This is the problem. When people need more money, they just spend more time. Don't do that. And lastly, the last reason that we're going to be covering here tonight is combined interest. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by this. I'm going to teach all of you how to calculate an ROI. If you're going to become an investor, you do need to know how to do this. Up next, I'm going to show you how to produce a 25% or greater ROI so that you can make 27 times more money. Eyes on me. You should never buy real estate unless you're making 25%. Now, you guys know this. Drop it in the chat. What is my average ROI? Do you guys know? My average ROI is 60.65%. That's on my last 2,130 rentals. That's right. Clint's got it. Lorena's got it. Joe's got it. And by the way, Xavier, will you email everyone tonight a document showing my last several thousand rentals so they can see the math and see the kind of money we're making? I publish all my addresses. I publish all of my information. We do that for full transparency. I'm going to show you real quick how to actually produce these ROIs. Now, this part might be just a little bit boring, but if you know what I'm about to teach you, this is how we make a lot of money in real estate, and it's very little math. So please pay attention. Here's an example. This is a 2020 home, so it's only a few years old. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet. It's one of my top 5 markets. Let's say we're buying it for $220 grand. Let's say my mortgage is $1,200 a month, but my rent is $1,600. Here's how we do the 4 ROIs. By the way, the ROI is made up of 4 smaller ROIs. Here's the first one. It's called a cash-on-cash ROI. We're going to assume that this house only cash flows $200 a month. So here's the first one, cash-on-cash ROI. Screenshot this. This is math for life to be a successful real estate investor. If I'm making $200 a month for 12 months, after taking repairs and vacancies into account, I'm making $2,400 a month. Now, let's just say that buying this house took a $50,000 down payment from a 401k or home equity or an IRA. Well, the $2,400 gain divided by what I put out, 50 grand times 100, will give me my ROI. By the way, this is how you always calculate ROI. The gain divided by the initial investment times 100. That's it. So we say, well, I gained $2,400 a year. I put 50,000 out, times it by 100. That's a 4% cash on cash. We're not to 25%, but on just one of the 4 ROIs, we've got 4% coming in on our money, and you receive this cash in hand. Number 2, principal reduction ROI. A portion of your mortgage payment does go towards principal and interest. On average, for a home purchase under $300,000, you're going to make 5% each year on the tenant paying down the house, and when you sell it, you get this money. The money that you get on what they put in ends up being about 5%. So your principal reduction ROI is 5%. Now, eyes on me, we're at 4% on cash. We're at 5% on principal reduction, so we're at a total of 9%. 2 more ROIs to add on. Let's go. Number 3 is what's called a depreciation ROI. The depreciation ROI is that the government allows you to write the house off over 27 and a half years. Well, that means that all the cash flow is going to be tax-free. This is really huge, and there's going to be leftover money. On our average property, if you pay 20% in taxes, this is going to turn out to be a 3% depreciation ROI. So eyes back on me. 4% on cash flow, 5% on principal reduction, 3% on depreciation. Now we're sitting at 12%. Now we'll go to the 4th and final ROI. This is called the appreciation ROI. Eyes on screen. The annual appreciation on this $200,000 home is 5%. That's $10,000 a year. 5% of $200,000 is 10 grand. Now, I'm putting the math here for those of you that want to actually pull out the calculator and check this. I want you to do it. So what's my gain? 10,000. What's my investment? 50,000. Times it by 100. What's my appreciation ROI? 20%. Let's add all four of them up. My cash on cash, principal reduction, depreciation, and appreciation ROI equals a total of 32%. Now, we did a 10-year study on my last 2,400 homes, and we're averaging 60.65%. And let me just show you the data right here if you want to screenshot that. These are the last 9 years on that longitudinal study where we are averaging 60.65% a year on our money. Guys, no one makes more money in the game of single-family real estate than me. It's something I'm really good at, and that's why I have 2,000 partners. They find me like this. They find me on social media. They DM me, and then all of a sudden, we are buying real estate together. By the way, I know that in a moment we're going to jump into the no money down real estate, but let me ask, if you have a 401k or an IRA, or you have a home with equity in it, and that money is not making you money, drop a 3 in the chat real quick. If you have a 401k, an IRA, or a home with equity in it, which means it's worth more than what you owe, drop a 3 in the chat. So for Brenda, Anthony, Ira, Joan, Chris, Lawrence, Brian, Heidi, Shayla, James, for all of you guys that are putting 3s in the chat right now, I want you to put your specific eyes on me. And I want to zoom in here and go, I can show you how to make on average 75 times more money in the next 20 years than what you're doing in a 401k, IRA, or home equity. And that's proven with math. So here's my question. Type a Y for a yes in the chat if you want to make 75 times more money than what you're doing. Because I've been an influencer in this space for 23 years, and this is a strategy that I've used on $2 billion worth of real estate, and the next decade is only juicier than it's ever been. We're getting a lot of yeses. I'm getting a Y. We're going to have some fun here with you. Thank you. And Ryan's giving me a badass, and I'm seeing a 3 and a Y. So I think overall we're moving in a good direction. Let's go ahead and prove it, guys. Put your eyes on the screen. Here's what we're doing next. When I say I love real estate, here's the truth. I hate real estate. I only love one strategy. And right now, if you want to know what the singular, like guys, I wrote a book about it. Where's my book, Ethan? You got it out there. I've written 5 books. This is my most recent book. It's called Time Machine. Where's my habit book? Where's my other books, Ethan? Well, it's okay. Give me that one. So this is thank you, Ethan. This is my Straight Path book. This was the first book that I wrote, and it was based on an algorithmic hypothetical that essentially said, I believe there's a best strategy in all of real estate. Let's compare the top 30 strategies and mathematically prove which one is best. Now, I can give you the book. By the way, if you want the book, type a Y in the chat. Would you guys like a copy of the book? I'm getting a lot of yeses. So Xavier, when you send an email out of my report showing the proof on my last several thousand renters, would you also give everyone a copy of my Straight Path book for free? Thank you. I'm getting a thumbs up. So guys, we're going to give you the book for free, but how many of you would like me to take just 3 minutes and cheat and tell you the final end of the book that says, what's the best strategy? Do you guys want to know the best strategy? Give me a nod of the head if that's a yes. All right. Clint's giving me a yes. So I'm going to give it to you right now. The reason why I needed a book to prove which strategy was best is because in the algorithm, you have to have bias. Here are my 6 biases. I wanted the strategy that required the least time, the least effort, the least risk, but made the most money. It had to work in up and down markets, and it had to provide service to people. These are my 6 criteria. Let me break them down. Least time means I want it to be passive. Least effort means if it's easier, Occam's razor says I'll be more successful than if it's hard. It's more scalable. Number 3, least risk. To number 4, most profit. I wanted a risk-reward ratio that was stable, homogeneous. Number 5, it had to work in up and down markets because most real estate strategies do not work in down markets. And then lastly, it had to provide a service. If you want to know the cheat code right now, I'm giving it to you. It's right here. Screenshot this one for sure. 6 criteria. If you buy a single family home that's at least a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, by the way, it doesn't work if it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It has to be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath on up. You are going to hold it for 5 to 7 years. You have to buy it below the median by 30%. If you calculate in the numbers I just taught you how to have a minimum of a 25% ROI, and if you buy in the top 5 markets out of 324, which I will give you tonight, if you do these 6 things, you will make more money in real estate than any other strategy. Call up Grant Cardone and see what I said to him when I was on his podcast. Put me against Grant Cardone with his multifamily fund. Put me up against Vina Jetty, Cody Sperber. Put me up against your favorite real estate guru. And put any of their deal next to any of my 2,000. And you know who makes more money in real estate? I do. Now, by the way, that's not bragging. That's not ego. It's intentional. I went into this space to be number one and to be best, and I can prove it across the board. Now, I'm sharing it with you because I'm going to show you how to do it with no money, and I'm going to show you how to do it with money. And then I'm going to give you guys, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm going to give you a seductive offer at the end of this to be my partner and to make it easy for you, or you can just go run off and do it on your own. But I'll give you both of those. I get in from admin some cool beans. By the way, are we doing okay? Ethan is going to be doing some Q&A for me. So I want you to know, if you have questions, you can drop them in the chat. We'll pause midway through the evening and I will do some Q&A with you, especially once we do the no money down strategy. And by the way, thank you, Lori. Grant is a pretty good guy as well. But I'm not talking about how cool he is. That's how people make financial decisions. I'm talking about performance on your money. And I have a question for you. Do you want to know someone who's cool, or do you want the safest and securest retirement for your future? It's just about one thing: performance, right? All right. So here we go. Here's the biggest secret to quadrupling your retirement on your ROI. Forbes says that if you invest into real estate on your own, the average mom and pop shop investor makes 10.4% annually. Now, I'm showing you how we get 25%, and I'm actually doing 60%, and that's by exploring the top markets. So I'm going to go to those top markets a little bit later. We're now going to break this evening into two parts. Show me with your fingers. How many parts, everybody? Come on, Clint, put those fingers up. How many parts? Thank you, Scott. Yes, thank you. We're going to break it up into two parts. Part one, eyes on the screen, how to make money in real estate with no money. And then part two, if you have money, for hell's bells, drop that money into real estate earning maximum ROI, and you're being really smart. By the way, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share with you 3 strategies for no money down real estate. And you're right, if you've read my first book, I think it was Lorraine that said it. She said that your book is about lease options. That is one of 3 strategies. It is true that I started with $3,300 in the bank. It took me 5 months to save it up. That became my first down payment on my first property, and then I turned that and rolled it into $1.6 million over 4 years using the strategy in this book that each of you are receiving for free tonight. All right, so I'm just going to give you a crash course on it. Here's my philosophy on making money. I like lease options because it's the benefit of short-term flipping, it's the benefit of long-term cash flow, and it gets you to financial freedom when you don't have money. Now, a lease option is going to help you do some things here that are really important. Number one, it's going to buy a home with little to no money. You can put a homeowner in the home instead of a renter. They're on average going to give you $5,000 to $10,000 up front. They're going to do all the maintenance. You get a superior cash flow, and then when they sell the house, you get a really big check. Now, eyes on me for a second. I want to be really clear. Raise your physical hand if you've ever seen a sign in the yard of a home that said rent to own. Raise your hand if you've seen one of those. If you see rent to own, that means lease option. And when I see lease option, I mean it in a very specific way. What I'm going to show you how to do is how to basically rent someone's home for little to no money down and then turn it around and sell it on a contract called a lease with an option to purchase. And whereas a renter will give you first and last month's rent, a person buying a house outside of a bank will give you $5,000 or $10,000. So there's going to be a big spread. Then you're going to get more cash flow on a lease option than a rental. And ultimately, I make 2.5 times more money on lease options than rentals when you're doing real estate and have no money. Eyes back on the screen. Let me show you what this looks like. If this is you, let's say you purchase a home with no money up front. You buy it, what's called a sandwich lease. I'm going to teach you in my book how to do that. And let's just say that this is a very small entry-level home that you can rent from them for $800 a month, but they agree to sell it to you. You take that same home now and you put a family in it, and they give you $5,000 up front, and they're paying you $1,300 a month. Let's take a look at the spread. You're getting $5,000 up front, and you're making $500 a month of positive income. So if you do this 5 times, you're making $2,500. $5,000 up front, $500 each month in bonus, and then you make tens of thousands of dollars when you sell the home. You can build, I got people that are doing lease options every week. They're building massive portfolios. They are not using banks' money. They're not using their money. And all of these homes are paying them money. In 4.5 years, I had 25 of these. Those 25 homes paid me $12,000 a month excess. I didn't have to get a job after college. Raise your hand if this is making sense, by the way. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're like, I'm picking up what you're putting down, Kris Krohn. I think I'm getting what you're saying here. I understand what this first strategy is. And I'll tell you just a little bit about it. Thank you guys for all the ones. Thank you for paying attention. So I'm going to show you how to find the deal, how to get paid 5 to 10 grand up front, how to make a killer cash flow, and then how to get tens of thousands of dollars in the sale. It's important for you to know that what I'm going to be teaching you is not flipping. It's not property management. It is how to find money, and it's not waiting to get paid. The old way, guys, is fix and flip. I'm not going to teach you that strategy. I will teach you wholesaling, but not fix and flip. We're also not doing rentals. You have to find it. You have to manage it, do property management. Guys, both of these are icky. No fixing and flipping, no rentals. We're doing a hybrid all across the board on these with a lease option. This is my strategy with the least time, effort, risk that also makes the most money. Now, by the way, I have a lot of investors in my community. I'll just share a couple of these with you real quick. This is from Dan DeSalvo, who says in my network, Kris, the latest sandwich lease option acquisition in South Bend, Indiana. It's $1,000 down, $500 a month, and $200 in rent on credit, $50,000 end price. But my tenant gave me $7,500 down. So they put $1,000 down, then they collected $7,500. They're collecting $1,500 a month instead of $500. So they're making $1,000 a month on this property. Do you guys understand how powerful that is? Like, this is big. Now, by the way, we're doing these deals all the time. When you come into my community, you'll see it. Let's go to another one real quick. We'll be really quick here. On the right side, this is also Dan that said, just did another one, got a $10,000 down up front. This is Nick Embry down below. He's saying, Kris and team, thank you guys so much. You guys are incredible. I'm financially independent now at the age of 24 with what you guys taught me how to do. Just a couple more of these. Closed on Friday. This is from Christian. At the top left, he says, closed on Friday, a lease option sold by Wednesday. 10 grand up front, 36% projected ROI. Underneath that, last buyer, I received an $8,200 wire on our new tenant buyer. If you go to the one on the right, it's too small to read, but they made a lot of money. And that's enough for right now. That's one strategy. So eyes on me, I just want to ask. If you listen to the end of this evening and you're like, Kris, you're the man, you're my mentor, this is what you do, I see how you've done it, you got $2 billion, will you teach me? I can teach you how to do that. And one of my favorite coaches that I have on my team has done 724 no money down deals. So when you work with me, I give you my team, I give you the resources. Now that's for people that want to put some time in because they don't have money. If you don't have money, you better put in some sweat equity. But then tonight we'll also talk about, well, what happens if you have a 401k or an IRA? What happens if you already own a home and you have equity in it? Then you can become a passive investor, or you can do both, right? I'm going to give you both options. Strategy number 2 that I'm briefly going to talk about, I'm going to teach you wholesaling. Wholesaling refers to a short-term business strategy where you're essentially going to buy someone's nasty house that is not fixed up half off. And then you're going to sell it to an investor that wants to fix it up and put the money in it. And you don't have to use any of your money to tie up the deal, and you get paid. For example, I'm going to show you where to go to find the deals in the country. You don't have to do it where you live. You're going to locate a massively distressed property. You're going to get it at 40 to 50% off. And then you're going to do the math. You're going to go to my investor network and say, who wants this insane deal? And someone's going to say, yeah, I'll put the money in and I'll fix it up. They'll buy it cash. And you usually walk away with like a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 deal. So this, one second. So number 4, we're going to contact the seller and say, hey, I want to give you a legitimate offer. They're going to tie it up, get it in a contract. I'm going to teach you how, I'm going to give you the contract so you do this. I'm going to go to my network to say which investor wants this. And then lastly, you're just going to sign it to them and say, you know what? I don't even want to buy the house. Guys, like all you're doing is trading paper. A piece of paper. This person agrees to give me the house at this discount because it has problems. And then I gave it to this investor, and what did they do? They gave me $20,000 for a piece of paper, and I didn't have to flip it. I didn't have to go to the bank. I didn't have to finance it. I didn't need money. I just got paid. This is a great strategy. By the way, this is Dan in my network who made $18,000 on his last flip. Dan's really like active in my community. He's a superstar. Now, there's a lot of no money down strategies. The third and final one is called creative financing. And Dolph DeRoos, eyes on me real quick. Guys, Dolph DeRoos, do you know who Dolph DeRoos is? the last 30 years, that guy has done, he's done multi-billion-dollar deals. He wasn't just my mentor 20 years ago, he's my business partner. I built up his social media from nothing, showed him the ropes in that world. And so what I've done is I've mastered lease options, wholesaling, and I've even partnered up with some of the greats. And we are basically helping people learn how to do these no money down deals. So if you don't have money tonight, I want you to clue into the end, and I'm going to share with you how I can be your mentor and give you coaching. We're going to learn how to do that. By the way, if you have 5 or 10 hours a week and you're like, I want to make the kind of money on the side where I can get out of my job, I want you to drop a 5 in the chat. I want to know who you are because I want you to hold your place. I'm going to talk to you in about 30 minutes and tell you exactly what it looks like. For Mario, Michelle, Udrado, Brenda, Kieran, there's several of you here that's very intriguing. Kris Throm, I like the way you spell your name, man. There's only a few of us out there. We got Christine and Jesse and Annabelle and several of you guys. So Tony and AJ. So we're going to talk about the no money down game, but I want to pair it up and do something that normally never happens. If I'm your guy, I'm not just going to show you how to do no money down deals. I'm also going to plug you into my network where I show you how to make 60% on these deals, and I'll do it all for you. So eyes on the screen, let me share with you, I want to fulfill the promise now on the top markets that I'm buying real estate in. Now, tonight, I'm really hitting on some different things, so I'm not going to go deep on this, but does anyone know which state in America has the largest population growth right now? Florida, over the next 5 years, is projected to increase population by 17%. It is my growth market. It's one of 5 markets. It's not Texas. There's several here that think it's Texas. Texas, it has problems by way of real estate market in comparison to Florida because there's 324 markets and I've ranked all of them and I only invest in the top 5. Florida also just became this year the 15th largest economy in the world, surpassing Saudi Arabia. In Florida, I buy homes like this. Now the box is really small and I apologize for that, but the number there is 34.47%. That is the projected ROI. My actuals always end up being about double. So this home will make me over 60% a year on my money. And so Florida is one of my rockin' markets. Number 2, Memphis. Write this one down. Guys, Memphis, if you want to screenshot this real quick, it has a $1.4 million population. The median income is $55,000. The average home price is $345,000. But I'm in Memphis for this reason. Blue Oval City. Ford announces an $11.4 billion plant spread over miles. They have no housing out there, but they're hiring 11,000 employees. They're moving their families here, and because they have a shortage of homes, my average home like this one that I can pick up for $260,000 in the next 5 years is projected to be worth over $400,000 because we're missing an extraordinary high amount of homes. This home is projected to do a 28% ROI. We're going to double that. When we do our look back, we'll probably make right around 60% on this. Here's my third market. Oklahoma's in the house, and Oklahoma City in certain areas is an area that I like to buy real estate. The real estate here is very affordable. It's $305,000. We got the population. The median is actually high for the rents. And so this is a home that's projected to do 27%. It's a $240,000 house. And you'll notice that all these houses start looking similar. Chris Herman's like, I knew it. You're right, buddy. And then I got Jonesboro. This is my secret weapon. Guys, this one's going to rock your world. My average home is $200,000 in this market, less than half the national median. But income is really strong at $51,000. Unemployment very low. There's all sorts of macroeconomic reasons why I'm in this market. But here's a very simple house projected to do 28%. Fully turnkey, fully done for you. You don't get on a plane. You don't fly out. I just do it. And lastly, I just wanted to brag about some of the homes this last year that my team bought. My employees, I don't give them 401ks. I think that's evil. Instead, I just help them buy real estate. These are their portfolio homes. So we're not done, and I got a lot more to go, and we are going to do live game plans. By the way, it looks like our friend down there at the bottom just had his mind blown on Jonesboro, Arkansas. Wow. Yes, Lori, we give them the houses. It's very, very true. Chris actually lives in Norman, and Regina lives in Arkansas, so that's very, very cool. Here's what I want to do. I want to pause and ask this question. How many of you want to know, and eyes on the screen, how many of you want to know what it looks like to actually partner with me and have me either help you do your own no money down deals or help you take 401ks and IRAs and home equity and put it into real estate and earn 60%. If you want me to do that, drop a 2 in the chat real quick. I'll take 10 minutes on it, and then we're going to get to the program for the rest of our evening here. Let's just see where we are at so far. Looks like several of you would like me to pause on this for a moment and hit this. I'll be very specific here. All right, we got a lot. Okay, so eyes on the screen. I do recommend taking some screenshots. I have 2,000 partners. Tonight I'm hoping to find 20 more partners, and I'm gonna help my partners do 2 things. No money down real estate, and I'm gonna help them do money down real estate wherever you're at. So it doesn't matter who's on here, whether you do or don't have money, I can show you how to become wealthy in the game of real estate. Up until this point, you do have 3 options. It's kind of an intense face, Kris Krohn. If you come out to one of my live events, they are kind of intense. They're mindset events, they're real estate events, they're financial events, and they're fun. We got one coming up in May. You have 3 options. Either do nothing, you can do real estate on your own, or you can partner with me 50-50. Let me show you how it works if you partner with me, and simultaneously, I'll also show you how I can help you do real estate on your own. First of all, let's just talk about what happens when people partner with me. It's a 50-50 arrangement. I do 100% of all the work. You put up the money. We split all the profits equally. Lauren says, I want to do both. That's why I'm tuned in. So Lawrence, I'm glad that you're here. And Ryan says, I would be good in an event like this. Ryan, I would want to put you, bro, VIP on my front row. If you come out to my event, I'm going to make you VIP for free on my dime because I just want to see you do your thing at the event, okay? If I didn't make it clear earlier, I want to clear it up right now. Why do I partner with people? I learned a lot from making my investors over $100 million after 2008. I did 3,000 homes, and if I had done 30,000, I would be a billionaire. So the first thing I learned is that I was young and scared, and I only did 3,000. Now I'm not. I'm bullish. I have a system. I know what I'm doing. I want to be a billionaire. I want to make $1 billion, and I want to give $1 billion away, and I do that through my foundation. But how I get there faster is by helping my 10,000 soon-to-be partners make millions of dollars in real estate. Raise your physical hand if that makes sense. We're all clear here, right? Like, I don't need you on my own, guys. I already own all of this real estate. We're doing great. But I have a goal of where I want to get to in life, and if I can partner with you or help you succeed in real estate, I will get my goal faster. I hope you see that you get your goal faster. It's different. You're not going to hear this from any other real estate guru or educator out there because most of them are not investors. But this is a very unique approach that no one else really does. I want to explain how partnering works first off. So for those of you that are like, I do have a 401k or an IRA, how does partnering work? There are 7 steps. Screenshot this. If you become my partner, I want you to understand how my team of 200 experts will work for you. By the way, I just see Lori saying, I love your charity approach. Lori, we raised $250,000 at my event that we just had a few weeks ago. And we've raised, I think, $7 million on that stage in the last 3 years alone that we've brought to Ukraine, Guatemala, Mexico, and now Africa. And very generous people love to come and support us. And some of my real estate partners literally come on mission with me, and then we get to have the experience together. It's one thing to write a check for an organization. It's another to actually go and deliver it. It's really, really, really beautiful. All right, here's how partnering works. I'm going to blaze through this. Step 1, you meet the team. I'm giving you my cell phone. I'm going to put you on a thread with me and my team. My team's going to speak up and tell you what they need from you. I'm there to answer your questions, and it's time for us to go and do real estate together. Step 2, I got to find out whether we are using the bank or not, because if you have money in a 401k, IRA, or home equity or savings, we may want to go qualify with the bank, or you might want to work around a bank. Doesn't matter to me. Step 3, we're going to review a custom game plan. Generally, to do a deal, you need $50,000 on up. That's your 20% down payment. And let me share with you why that's important. Let's say that we just buy one house, and even though I've been telling you I make 60%, let's just say it's 25, so I can give you this illustration. If we do a house and make 25%, and 5 years later we double it, and now we're doing 50% on 2 homes because it's 25% on each home, that same dollar in 5 years is multiplying the ROI. 5 years later, 50% turns into double the homes, which is double the ROI. We're now making 100% on the money. By the way, imagine going into your bank and saying, do you have a bank account where I can make 100% a year on my money? Can you imagine your 401k, Clint like that? Can you imagine making 100% on your 401k? Never gonna happen. But in real estate, after 20 years, that multiplies to 1 home turns into 16 homes. you're now making 400% a year on that original dollar. Now, it's 3 times that amount of money with my 60% ROI, isn't it? It's not 4.3 million, it's $12.4 million. Or you guys can just see it right here again. And so all we're doing is taking your money that's rotting in a 401k prison or in an IRA or under the mattress, and we're doing something smart with it. Step 4, we get under contract. We're going to go to my top 5 markets out of the 324 top cities in the nation. And what we're going to do is we are going to follow our formula and find homes like this, projected to make 35%. Here's another one, Winter Haven, 31%. As we get under contract, the reason why my ROIs are so high is because I keep my fees low and in bulk. So I'm also explaining the total fee structure of this business because it's a business and it has fees. The first one is when I buy a home, we put on a $4,997 acquisition fee. It's the main fee. It covers about $12,000 of legwork because I have repair fees, researchers, bird dogs. I've got lawyers, PPM initiation fees, managers, rehab, accounting, admin. I've got 200 people that build this portfolio for you. That acquisition fee one time on that property helps cover that. It covers about $12,000 worth of work, 342 hours collectively that my team puts in just on the front end. Guys, that helps me cover my power team of 200 experts, including my managers, employees, researchers, coordinators, rehab contractors, everything. Step 5, we're going to set up a bank account. We're going to set up an LLC for you. I take care of all of this. We're going to sign the operating agreement. We're going to set up a bank account. We put $10,000 in the bank account to manage the first property and $5,000 for each property after. Step 6, 30 to 40 days later, the property is closed. I send a notary to sign the property. You go to your bank, you wire the money. You're done. We deed it into the LLC and we get ready for the next move. And then step 7, my team manages everything. I have a full-fledged CFO team. They charge $30 a month per property on accounting to give you weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual reports with full transparency on everything. To do deals like this, it's cheap, it's fully turnkey, it's amazing. And if you guys are like, well, what if I can't qualify? Then I have an exclusive partner fund where we basically just buy the homes cash, and then I sign a personal guarantee with the bank to pull out 60% of the money, and then we just do it again. Guys, I've done it for thousands of people. I've done it thousands of times over the last 23 years. It is a proven system. And I just want to introduce you briefly to a couple of people. Ethan and Ryan, if we can just make sure, I've got some people in my network that are killing it. I want to see if we have a couple of them on with us tonight. I want to ask first if Carson Tejan is on, and then after Deb Brundage. And so Carson Tejan, if you're on, let's go ahead and unmute you and just talk about your experience in partnering with me and doing real estate. Are you there?
What's up, Kris? Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good.
So you started your real estate journey how many years ago?
It depends on how you define that, but I mean, I started following you 10 years ago, bought my first home in 2016, so 8 years ago.
Okay, so 8 years ago, you bought your first house. Did you follow my system?
Yeah, so I started house hacking the way you did. Bought a house with a basement apartment.
Yeah,
and
so you just had a 3% down payment. You didn't have a lot of money.
Yep.
And because of
Yep.
how I helped you buy that house, when you sold it a few years later, how much money did you make?
I walked away with like $180,000 because I lived in it. It's a primary. I didn't pay capital gains, so it was a fat check after
And
that.
then and then you took that money and you did what?
You took me and said, you better not pay off debt with that. You better invest that into more real estate, which we did. We went and bought a couple more homes in Florida.
And you just reviewed your numbers recently. How much money have you made on each of those homes right now?
Oh, quite a bit. I mean, each is appreciated like 110,000, so like 220.
Okay, 220. And then meanwhile, you did another primary residence you're getting ready to sell. How much are you going to make on that one?
Probably 270.
Okay, so between all of that, like you now have money to take and go buy 5 more homes.
Yep. And the funny thing is, Kris, the house we're currently in, it also has a basement apartment, and then we're building, and the house we're building will have an apartment above the garage. It's like I can't not have that rental income. It's so
Now,
nice.
I want to also ask you, this is a sensitive question, but if you would, I know that recently you were just looking at your net worth. 8 years ago, started with a net worth that was negative in debt. Would you mind just sharing with everyone, since working with me over the last 8 years, what your net worth is right now?
Yeah, I think we looked at it, and I'm scratching at $1 million right now, net worth.
Yeah, just barely
Like
over $1 million. Yeah.
Yep.
Can everyone, by the way, give Carson a little bit of props and give him a round of applause? By the way, I appreciate that, man. I'm excited for your journey. It shows what 8 years can do. And over the next 5 years, you know, your first million's the hardest. Making that next million is probably just 4 or 5 years away. So you've got momentum and you're doing a really good job. For anyone that's watching tonight that is like wondering or curious, like, is this real? Like, you have the benefit of having been in the system with me for a decade. What would you say to anybody who's kind of wondering? Like, a lot of these people know that I'm legit. They've been following me for years. But for the skeptic out there, for the troll, what would you say?
I would say that the houses are real, that real estate's amazing because you have a hard asset. There's a reason a bank will give you a mortgage is because they know there's a hard asset that it's attached to. And it just grows in the background. It is so hands off your system, Kris. When you partner with you, like you got your team just sent me a couple deals when we were buying and they're like, you want to do this one? And we're like, yeah. And then like everything just happened after that.
So
We signed.
it's been a very, very passive experience.
So passive, Kris.
And,
Like,
and whether you're dipping in on, hey, I have the money, Chris's team do everything for me, or I'm going to work with Chris's experts and do some of the little to no money down deals, do you have confidence in both those systems?
oh, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Carson, thanks for hopping on tonight. I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
sure.
There's some mad props and some love in the chat. Thank you very much. Next, Ryan, I'm going to pick on you since you're our MC of the evening and you're going to be managing our chat tonight. Tell us a little bit about your experience in real estate.
Absolutely. So it's been definitely a roller coaster. And when I started with you, I was mentioning at the beginning of our call,
You're like 80 grand in debt.
80 grand in debt.
Are you in debt now?
Not in debt at all. And now actually having a game plan. In fact, as we were reviewing that a couple of weeks ago, it was crazy to go through and figure out how easy it actually was to get to something crazy. 170 million is what I had put as what I want for the things that I want to accomplish and do in life. To work that backwards with your system, it actually was something that was remarkably close at hand. For the first home that I bought with you, which was about 3 years ago now, that home has appreciated like $50,000, 55.
Congratulations.
And there is something that is so incredibly amazing about finding the right mentor, right? The right system and team that can figure out how to take you from where you're at with nothing, and then to look at something like $170 million portfolio and to see, wow, a house or two inside of your system, all of a sudden, like every single thing that I've considered as an impossible scenario is now realistic.
Well, here's the cool part, man. You got out of debt, you bought one, and that home has almost grown enough that it'll soon be time to sell it. It's only been 3 years.
Yep.
When you sell it, you're going to trade it for 2. And then later you're going to sell the 2 and you're going to trade them for 4. And if you give it, it's not get rich quick, but guys, if you do that for 20 years, you're going to have 15 to 30 homes. You're going to have a robust 6-figure residual income and you're going to pay 0 taxes on it because it's all going to be tax-free. By the way, if that's making sense, will you guys drop a 2 in the chat if you're kind of hearing what's being picked up here? Yeah. Ryan, final advice for anyone that's considering, looking at this. Do you think people should take a gander? Would you recommend this to your mom?
Absolutely. And it comes down to the idea of getting that game plan, right? When I get to tell partners now from my own experience, hey, if I had the opportunity to get a mega millionaire on the phone with us and have him break down exactly what he would do if he were in your shoes, those are plans and action steps that anyone can follow. And I did it. To come in to meet you, not only for the health part and the relationships part, but to come in $80,000 in debt, literally wondering when people were knocking on my door if it was a debt collector to take me to jail, to have on my sites now $170 million portfolio as realistic.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Everybody should be looking for a game plan and the right mentor.
I appreciate it. Awesome. Real quick, Charmaine just made a very interesting comment. She said, but the market is so high right now. I need to address that. Please do not follow anyone's thinking from the media that says what comes up must come down, because in the stock market, you can't predict it, but in real estate, you can. For example, in Florida where I'm buying, I know that we are missing 342,000 homes. When that number is less than 50,000, I will be vacating that market because a time will come when we have more homes than demand. And guess what happens? That's when a market drops. We have the data to track that. So real estate is very easy to know when the market is going to drop, like really, really easy. So if you were to say, well, Kris, when do you think it will course correct? Without going into specific markets nationwide, it'll take us 9 years to eat through the 4.5 million missing homes, which is why hedge funds have dropped $50 billion into single family homes and have bought up 10% of the rental market. I want you to think about that for just a minute. By the way, in markets where I compete with the hedge funds, they'll pay 125% of the price. They'll pay 50 grand over. Why? Because they know over the next decade, they know. By the way, if you're like, by the way, and I want to say one more thing to any of you that are like, well, what about the market? In 1990, we had real estate national median break $100,000, and the media outlets went crazy and said, guys, the market has to crash. Homes in LA are $100,000. Hello? That house is now $1 million house. Does it look like the market's going to go down? No. It's called inflation. Everything's going to keep going up. But if you have the data and you're smart, you can rock the market and you can win. Guys, 2008 was the worst financial crisis in real estate since the Great Depression. Did I lose a single house? No. Did I make $100 million with my partners and investors? Yeah. So I'll give you the data for those of you that are like, well, what comes up must come down. I'll tell you exactly when it's going to come down. And you'll say, you can predict that? It's like, yeah, I'm actually just watching this chart right here per zip code, and it tells me exactly when it's going to come down. 2008, we had built too many homes in Arizona, too many homes in Vegas. What happened? I was now buying a house for 130 grand that was selling for $300,000. What happened 5 years later? What happened? They didn't build for 5 years. People made babies. Population went up. They had to eventually start building homes again at the cost of rebuild. Rebuild was $250,000. I bought it for $130,000, made $120,000 on the home plus all that rent. Does that make sense? Sorry, there's just data for all of this. So I love what we're getting. Ryan, Carson, guys, thank you for being here. Here's what I want to do right now. Eyes on the screen. Now I want to be really specific. I am looking for 20 new partners tonight. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not just going to teach you for 3 hours for fun tonight. I'm going to take 10 minutes and I'm going to give you an irresistible offer that will hopefully find out of all of you 20 partners that want to go into the market and buy real estate with me or want me to help you do no money down deals. I will also tell you and confirm tonight, I've got my CEO, my chief marketing officer on. I have never made a more seductive offer in my entire life than I'm about to give you. So if this doesn't move the needle, I am not your guy. Let's go hard on this. First of all, ask yourself these questions. And I want you to put a yes in the chat if it's a yes or an N for a no. Do you have at least $10,000 in usable assets, cash, 401ks, IRAs, equity? Number two, are you open-minded and teachable? Guys, that's so big to me. If you're going to work with me and my coaches and get my cell phone, freak. I need an open-minded, teachable person. Number three, are you positive and mentally prepared? Will you take advice from an expert that has his 100,000 Malcolm Gladwell hours? And can you be a good communicator? This is what I require. Now, tonight, you don't have the chance to actually become my partner. The best you can do is actually put a deposit down to talk to my team and see if we're a fit. Because I'm actually going to own an LLC with you. I'm going to own a company. We're going to build a multi-million-dollar portfolio. I'm not going to do that with just anyone. I'm not stupid. I'm a little crazy. I'm not stupid. So tonight is about us figuring out whether we're a match for each other. By the way, Terry says, I got no assets, but my wife has a 401k. You're more than qualified to crush it in real estate. So Joe Bankson gives me a yes on all four of those. So for those of you that are yes across the board, please pay attention to what I'm about to share with you. Eyes on the screen. I want to weed out just a few more people. You're either on the left or the right side. You're like, Kris, I put up the money. You do 100% of the work. On the left side, you're like, we split the profits 50-50. What a ripoff. I put up all the money and Kris gets half the profits. Or on the right side, it's like, I put up all the money, but Kris does 100% of the work. If you're on the left side, please ignore everything I'm about to cover for 8 more minutes. If you like what you see on the right side, then I'm just going to tell you right now, we should definitely be talking. Normally, when people partner with me to do no money down real estate and money down real estate, they're going to make one of 4 choices normally. Now, tonight you get something different. But normally people will either invest $10,000 and do a deal with me, or they'll do $18,000 and do 2 deals, or $26,000 and do 3 deals, or 35 grand and do unlimited deals. That's the normal gig. And every day I find partners this way. But I need 20 more partners because I just opened up a 5th secret market. I have more homes than I know what to do with that have these awesome ROIs. So I'm going to do something very tantalizing tonight. So please pay attention to this. There's 5 parts to becoming my partner, and then there's 5 bonuses. I'm going to give them to you, and you need to pay attention because if you've actually been on one of these before, you'll see something very different tonight. First of all, if you partner with me, number 1, Our partnership is forever. We're setting up a business, an LLC. I'm not going anywhere. By the way, someone loves to ask what happens if you get hit by a bus. Well, my team actually is all set up. Guys, I'm financially independent. My business operates without me. I'm not a CEO. I don't have a position in the company. And my team buys real estate with and without me. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I will never do a deal. Josh, if we can put it back on screen for the next 10 minutes, there's a minimum 25% guarantee. I'll never do a deal unless we're making 25% on a deal. Number 3 of 5, you're getting my cell phone. So my team's got to make sure you're a good fit, and I do not want you to pass my cell phone out to anyone else. You are welcome to text me about our portfolio, anything personal in your personal life, but don't share the number. Number 4, credit-free deals. If your credit becomes an issue with bank, I'm going to help you do no bank, no credit deals. I have a private fund. And finally, number 5, I'm your mentor. So I'm going to be training every week with you, going live, doing one-on-one game plans. I'm going to be teaching you real estate, business. You're going to learn from my mentors, my best students. This is where you access the best opportunities. So all of that comes to $120,000 of value when people partner with me. And you better believe that people don't mind paying $10,000, $18,000, $26,000, or $35,000 to partner with me, because we're building at least a $4.3 to $12 million business. And I want to just ask this question before I give you the bonuses. Let me just ask, who here would pay 35 grand for a $10 million business? Now, it takes 20 years to mature, but who would pay 35 grand for a $10 million business? I don't know if you guys do acquisitions and mergers, but I do. Type a yes in the chat if you're like, I see it, Kris, I get it. I'm accessing the best in the game, #1 in the world for single family. There's got to be an investment. It's a tax write-off. I get it. So many of you are seeing there. And one of you said, oh, I wish I could if I had the money. But now you need to pay attention, because if I believe in you, I'll finance you. If I believe in you, if my team believes in you, then I'm going to still help you make money. So you better pay attention with what's about to go down. Eyes on the screen. There are 5 instant bonuses if we do this, and this is the game changer. Number 1, and I've never offered this before, you're going to do no money down training with me. So I'm literally going to teach you my top 3 legendary strategies. I'm going to teach you how to do lease options, wholesaling, and creative financing. So number 1, I'm going to teach you how to do that. Here's the second bonus. I'm going to give you my top no money down coach for life. Now, this is insane. I'm going to give you every week for life live coaching calls with Justin on my team. He's done 724 deals. We're buds. We're also going to give you 12 intimate small mastermind sessions just out the gate to help you do your first couple of deals. And you get on-demand texting for life, which means one-on-one coaching help. Guys, that's $46,000 of training that I'm going to give you as a bonus if we partner. By the way, so for those of you that are like, but Kris, I don't have the money, please pay attention. If I believe in you, I'm going to finance this. Number 3, you're going to train in person with me. I want you to come out to my private event center. I'm going to give you 2 VIP tickets for a 3-day life-changing mindset event on real estate and finance. And this is $2,000 in tickets. That's a third bonus. Here's bonus number 4. Tonight, I am going to be discounting all of my programs 20%. Now, I got people every day that are becoming my partners. They don't get this. So this is something very different, very special. That means that my $10,000 program is actually $8,000. It means that my $35,000 program is only $28,000. So I'm going to get some clarity here, and we're going to answer some questions on what this looks like. But this isn't even the coolest bonus. By the way, if you're like, well, Kris, are you telling me if I pay $8 grand that I can do a deal with you that we hope to turn into $12 million over 20 years? But if I don't have money, you're going to give me lifetime coaching? Yes. Lifetime no money down coaching. And Kris, if I don't have the $8 grand, you might finance it for me? Yes. If I believe in you and my team and I say you're the right stuff, I'll even do that. So it's about to get crazy. Here's the 5th bonus. When it comes time to doing deals, I'm going to increase our partner split. If you come in more aggressive and want to do 2 or 3 or 4 deals, you can work up to a 70-30 split for life. On a house, it's an extra $1.7 million over the life of our partnership for 20 years. It's crazy. For example, if at a 34% ROI, it's $1.7 million more money per home that you buy. You buy 3 homes, that's $5.1 million to you just by having an extra split. By the way, in my 23 years of doing this last year is where I experimented with higher splits, and I only do it when I have an excess of homes. So tonight is actually really, really special. So now this is a $182,000 program, but here's the wild part. If you're thinking you want to partner with me and you want to do this, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the link. Xavier, drop the link in the chat, or you're going to call that number and you're going to place a fully refundable deposit. Guys, I have too many people. I have 250 people with replays. I've got 500 people watching this, but I'm only looking for how many partners? 20 partners. So here's how it works. I need to talk to the serious and not the curious. You're going to do a $997 fully refundable deposit. That entitles you to basically get in line to talk to my team. If you don't end up partnering with me, I just give you your $997 back. But if you do partner with me, we'll just apply it to our partnership that we're doing together. By the way, when you're on the phone, you can talk about financing, because for some of you, I'm actually going to finance the experience. What does it mean? It means that you're going to start working with me, my coach, come to my event, learn no money down techniques, learn the best strategies, and I'm going to show you how to do your first deal and put $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 in your pocket so that you can then later actually let me do the real estate for you. So you go to partnerwithkris.com. I know Ryan's like, dude. And Randy says, when is your next event? It is May 29th through the 31st. And we've got several of them happening this year at my own private event center. Now you've got the phone number right now, 385-217-3477, or you just go to partnerwithkris.com, place your refundable deposit. And then what my team is going to do is they're going to essentially help me figure out the 20 best people that I'm going to work with. If you're on tonight and you're like, Kris, I got money for the deposit, but I don't have money. I don't have $8,000. Then I might even finance it for you. So place the deposit, talk to my team. They'll be texting you tonight to set up appointments. And then let's see if you end up being one of my 20 partners. If you do, if you have money like in a 401k or IRA or an equity in your home, let me make you a multimillionaire as quickly as possible, just like Carson and others we've talked to tonight. And if you don't have the money, I am going to coach you on the top no money down strategies and get you coaching for life. Guys, it's the hottest and sexiest thing that I can do. Now, eyes one more time on the screen, and then we're going to go to some Q&A. So if you have questions, I want you to drop it in the chat. We are going to pause for a Q&A moment here, and I want to put this there. You're going to do your $997 refundable deposit. You're going to instantly receive bonuses. You're going to get a text from my team, my coaches tonight, just saying, when do you want to talk to see if you're a fit? You talk to my team. If you're a fit, you're in. If you're not a fit, I just refund your $997. Guys, that's the way that we play the game tonight. Ryan says, it's the Carnegie method. I actually don't know what that is, but Xavier says, Sophia is in. We got 19 spots left. So we're going to now pause. We are going to do a game plan in a moment, but I want to go to some Q&A. So Ethan, I want to know if you've been collecting some questions. If you have questions, I want you to go to the chat, do it right now. Otherwise, guys, partnerwithkris.com. We're going to shut it down when I get my 20. So let's figure out who wants to consider partnering with me, who wants to play with me. Do that right now. Let's go to some Q&A, and then we're going to do a live game plan.
So first question is from Kara. She's talking about, let's see here. Does the game plan include recommendations on company structure / formation?
Yes, so when you actually partner with me, we know exactly what that 50-50 partnership could look like, but tonight it could be a 60-40. It could even be a 70-30. So part of that game plan is actually sharing with you exactly how it works. Yes.
Awesome. Kesh is asking, is seller market versus buyer market real? Since people are getting laid off, will it impact the housing foreclosures?
Yes, so there are sellers and buyers markets, but for me, I'm always buying because I'm an investor and people always need places to live. And so here's one more way of thinking about it. There are 324 markets that make up the United States. Guess what happens if we're in the top 5? Those markets are always hustling and bustling. So things could be bad nationwide, but they're hot in my market. For example, could there be a downturn in Florida in the next 5 years? Impossible. They have a 17% population increase. 500,000 people left California last year. 600,000 people left New York last year. They went to Texas and Florida. The majority of them went to Florida. Yeah.
Awesome. I had a question lined up, but Scott just dropped an awesome one. He has $485,000 in equity in his house right now. He wants to know the best way to access it these days with high HELOC rates.
Okay, so first of all, Scott, you're worried about HELOC rates being high. I don't care about them being high, and you're going to learn why in a moment. First of all, they're like high as a relative term. When I buy real estate at 6, 7, or 8% interest rates, and I am literally making 60% of my money, what happens if rates go up a point? Well, instead of making 60%, I literally make 59.5%. It doesn't affect the ROI almost at all. So don't be rate conscious. That's consumer thinking. We're now an investor. We think completely differently. Scott, you have $485,000. I'll give you a quick game plan right here. I could show you how to buy 5 homes. If we were averaging 60% on them over the next 20 years, those 5 homes could turn your portfolio into approximately right around $90 million. 45 million for you or 45 million for me. Of course, you would be in at a 70-30 split, so it's probably going to be more like 60 million you, 30 million me. And that's the 20-year outlook. But that would be buying 5 homes now, and then in 5 years trading those for a total of 12 properties. So really great. Tony, by the way, welcome. Glad to see that you are in. And my team will get with you. We'll text you tonight and look at getting everything started.
Cool. We have a couple people asking about concerns with Florida and home insurance costs and issues.
Yeah, the Florida home insurance costs are on the coast, not in central inland Florida. So we don't have those problems. Good question.
Cool. Let's see. Shay is asking, how do you get so many homes if you sell them to buy more?
Well, it's really simple. I have 200 experts. We're always finding the best homes on the market. So in 5 years, when I sell your 3 homes and we trade them for 7 homes, I have a machine every day that finds me the best deals. To find 7 homes, it might take me, 4 to 6 weeks. So it doesn't take very long. So really good question.
This is an awesome question. Came from our YouTube live that we're doing at the same time. Crowton LOL asked, "Hey Kris, I'm a 16-year-old wanting to pursue real estate investment after high school. Could you share your best advice for the younger generation like me to make money in this industry?"
Crowton, here's the very best advice. I want you to, the moment you're 18 years old, you can also get credit cards with your mom right now that are co-owned, but at 18, I want you to get 2 credit cards, keep them paid off, and 2 years later, after 2 years of job history, put a 3% down payment, which is gonna be 5 to 10 grand, and buy an entry-level single-family house. Put roommates in all the other bedrooms, 4 or 5 of them, and let them pay the entire mortgage. You will live for free. That's the smartest thing that you can do. By the way, Thomas Stanley talked about the millionaire next door. Where do millionaires come from? Not 401k, not the stock market, not IRAs. Do you know where they come from? People that when they, through their 40-year working life, move into 2 or 3 different homes, they don't sell them, they keep them and rent them. Most people will sell their home and transition into the next house. If one house, and the average equity position in a house in America right now is $327,000. That means that you outperformed your 401k. You're amazing. But what happens if you had 10 of those homes? You would have $3.3 million. More homes is more better. So when you're young, start young, buy a home, let other people pay for it, and then move a year or 2 later, Crowton, and do it again. Move a year or 2 later. The second thing I would recommend if you're a hustler is tonight we're talking about you're 16, but wait till you're 18. I'm gonna be your coach. I'm gonna show you how to do no money down real estate like I did in Lease Options, and you don't have to use the slow path. You can go really fast.
Awesome. We have Marianne asking, if you have around 100K in equity in your house, but you have bad credit, that hasn't so you're not able to qualify for a HELOC, what are my options?
Yeah, so if you have bad credit, hire a credit repair company and repair that dang credit. You can also sell the house to get the money out of it, but if you don't want to move, you need to add someone else to the title who has good credit, and then they can do the refinance 6 to 12 months later and get the money out. 3 good options.
Kara's asking, are the best markets for single family the same for multifamily?
We don't do multifamily, Kara. And the reason why is because multifamily is overbuilt and it's a bad market. So it's slumping right now. Single family is on the rise for the next decade. There's no comparison, by the way. All my buddies that do multifamily, they're usually making 18 to 30% a year on their money. I'm making 60%. So I don't believe in multifamily. It's just too low of an ROI for me. No, MD, 51 years old is not too late because guess what? Someday you'll be 70. Wouldn't you like to have 10 or $12 million when you're 70 years old? You're not too late, but you got to get in the game.
Yeah, that kind of leads into another question people have. You talk about a 20-year plan. Do you have a 10-year or a 5-year plan?
Yeah, if you want a 10-year plan or a 5-year plan, 2 things. Number 1, buy more real estate out the gate or step into the no money down real estate coaching that I'm going to give you, and I'll show you on the side how to do deals to make more money to buy more real estate. So in other words, you need to start with a higher input. For example, Clint might say, Kris, I want to retire in 10 years, not 20 years. And I would say, well, you have enough money to buy one home. I need you to start with 3 to get to your goal in 10 years. And you say, but I only have money for one. And then I'd say, on the side, I'm going to show you how to do a couple more deals. We're going to take that and that will become your down payment. And then within the next year or two, you got your 3 homes. So you're going to be good in 10 years, right? That's an example for Clint. And yes, Brian, we have 5-year plans. By the way, you all requested a free game plan. Any of you that do the $995 deposit, let's put that on screen one more time. Guys, you go to partnerwithkris.com. You pay the $995. If we partner, it gets applied. If we don't, we refund. And that gives you a very detailed game plan with my team. Now, all of you that filled out the game plan form will still get a game plan, but the bonuses are only here to get locked in for the people that apply for this tonight. And then we give you 5 days to see if it's a fit. Okay, we're gonna do a couple more questions, then I'm gonna do a game plan. And I wanna just, I wanna prep who that might be. First things first, if Kara Wright, that's my mother's maiden name, right? If Kara, K-A-R-I, is there, in a moment we'll bring her on and we'll do a game plan with her. Let's do 2 more questions first.
Yeah. Let's see. iPhone is asking if you can repeat the top 5 markets again.
Yes. Jonesboro, Memphis, Blue Oval City, Central Florida,
And Oklahoma City.
and Oklahoma City.
Cool. Let's see. And then Kara's asking, is the texting option an AI? Like when they text you, is it AI that's
No,
responding?
it's actually not. It's my, I do have a dedicated real estate phone, and I do have my team that are on it. And so between me and them, we ping you to make sure that you get all the help that you need. So no, it's not AI. Thank you.
Charmaine's asking, will the 997 be put on to the 8,000 one deal package in case we want to proceed?
It would apply.
Cool.
Yep, it'll be a part of the down payment towards that, 100%. All right, we're gonna bring Kara on. Kara Wright, or is it Kara? Kara, if you're there, go ahead and unmute yourself, and we'd love to chat with you for a minute.
I am here. It's Kara. Thank you for asking. And I'm sorry I'm not on camera. I have the flu and I'm not camera
Oh.
ready, but I didn't want to miss the call tonight. So
Kara, your static picture looks fabulous. I'm sorry you're not doing well, but thank you for being well enough to hop on tonight. And Kara, we'll still do a game plan with you. How about that?
awesome.
All right. Do you mind, Kara, if I share some of the information you then gave me so that I can give you an accurate game plan?
Sure.
All right. We're going to talk about your retirement accounts. It looks like you have a 401k and an IRA. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, it's a mixed portfolio.
Yes, but what is it in? I know it's mutual funds, but what kind? 401k or an IRA?
Both.
Okay. So how much is in the 401k?
Oh, I don't know. I need to pull it up. I just
No. We're just going ballpark tonight. We're going to be a little less formal. You're sick. We're going to keep it ballpark. We're good to go.
okay.
Ish.
Yeah, but between the two.
Yeah.
Um,
I need them separated out for a reason.
yeah, separated out. Let's just say 150 in both.
Okay, great. And then with the 401k, is the 150, is any of that rollover from previous employment, or is that all from this current job?
All from current job.
Okay, cool. So I want everyone to listen up to this. This is important. Even though we're doing Kara's game plan, there's something for all of you to learn. If you have a 401k that's from old employment and you roll it forward, you can do more with that than a current 401k. So Kara has 150,000 in her current 401k. She can't touch that until she leaves her job or files for hardship. So that 150,000 is in prison. Now, if you guys go to my YouTube and type in, reasons why Kris Krohn hates 401ks, I recommend watching that video because the 401k is actually a scam. There's 5 reasons why it's a scam. I'm not going to go into it tonight, but I know that it's seductive with the free money that you can't have. So the 150,000 that Kara has in the 401k, we can't touch until she leaves her employment. But the $150,000 in an IRA, she can touch. And I'm going to give her a couple options on what she can do with that. First of all, if she wants to take that money out of an IRA, she has to pay the tax and the penalty. And she's in a pretty high tax bracket. Or I can show her how to self-direct it so that she doesn't pay the tax or penalty. In this case, we're going to self-direct it, which means we're not going to pay a tax, we're not going to pay a penalty, and then I can show her how to get loans on 2 houses. Now, if I can start Kara off with 2 homes, and we're putting $70,000 to $80,000 in each as a down payment, Every $80,000 per 20 years turns into a roughly $20 million. So since we can start with 2 of them, and because it's a little less, she's going to be sitting right around $36 million in 20 years on those 2 homes. Now, if she decides to partner with me and is a 70-30 partner, then at least 20 million, probably 22 or $23 million of that is going to be her side of the business. Now, in 20 years, $23 million, if we just roll that into free and clear real estate, it's going to be paying her a little over $1 million a year, probably going to have a monthly cash flow of $120,000 a month of tax-free income, $120,000 a month. So that's the first option, Cara. Does that make sense?
Yeah, when does the cash flow kick in? What year?
Well, it kicks in immediately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you buy real estate, you get cash flow.
Okay, got it. What does that cash on cash? I mean, the 120,000, that sounds excessive, like immediately. That's
No. The 120,000 is in 20 years.
Oh, okay, that's what I was
This is a 20-year game plan. So what we're starting off with is buying 2 homes. Your cash flow is going to be like $500, $600, $700, $800 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Now the next option that I wanted to show you is that it looks like your house is worth around $930,000 and you owe about $500,000 on it. Is that right?
That's correct.
Do you have a home equity line of credit on it right now?
I do. I am currently about to refi a property and pay myself back.
Okay. Well, just for your information, when you get your home equity line of credit, you should be awarded somewhere around $350,000. So if you go to a couple of different credit unions, not your normal bank, and shop it out, you should be able to get a line of credit for around $350,000. Does that make sense?
Yep.
In my world, that's like buying 4 more homes. And 4 more homes is just going to get you to your goal sooner, so you don't have to wait 20 years. You can get there a lot faster. I'm seeing a total possibility there of right now starting with a maximum of 6 homes. Now, most people are going to start with maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 homes, but you've got the ability to do 6, which means you could hit some pretty astonishing numbers in the next 7, 8, 9, 10 years and not wait for 20 years to have the really big payout. Does that make sense?
I need that because I'm 56 and I want to be living a little differently by the time I'm 62, if not
Yes.
sooner. So, okay, that's great.
Well, and listen, I won't divulge, because I can tell you're a little sensitive. I won't divulge what your annual income is, but if you wanted in 10 years to hit your goal, you probably need to start off with 4 homes, which means you've got your IRA that you're going to use, and then you've got maybe half of your home equity that you can use. That's what you would need to do in 10 years to probably keep up with walking away from your job, but keeping that same really high income.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me on your game plan?
No, this is good. Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. Awesome. I appreciate it. Listen, I hope you feel better. Can everyone do me a favor and just do some snaps for Cara, hoping that she feels better, or give her some love in the chat. We're just sending some good juju your way, so hopefully you heal up and get better fast. And good news, you certainly have the ability to crush it in the game of real estate. All right. Friends, Josh, go ahead and put that on screen one more time. For Cara, if Cara does that $997 refundable deposit, then over the next 5 days, she's going to talk with the team. And if she becomes my partner, I can do all of that for her so that she can stick with her family life, her career life, the lifestyle that she has, and make it totally passive. Or if she wanted to replace her income, I could then coach her with my team on no money down real estate deals, right? We're going to go to some more Q&A, and then we're going to do another game plan, Ethan. So let's open it up and let's see what else is coming through the chat.
Yeah, we have a couple people asking how you get around the penalty and taxes for an IRA and a 401k.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to self-direct that beast, and that's going to avoid the tax and penalty, and then we're going to go buy real estate. But that isn't the option that always makes the most sense. There's some little minor rules, so you have options. Sometimes it does make sense where you want to pay the tax and penalty, and you're like, Kris, why would I ever want that? Because in the game of real estate, you're never going to pay taxes ever again. Like, real estate grows tax-free. You 1031 exchange it, you defer taxes, you do cash out refinances. You don't have to pay tax. So I don't need a 401k or an IRA to get a zero tax situation. Real estate will already do it for me. So sometimes it makes sense to come out and just pay the tax and penalty up front. And sometimes people just can't stomach it, and I can still show you how to buy real estate. So you have multiple options. Good question.
Awesome. Judy's asking, will I need to get a realtor in Central Florida?
No, you don't have to do anything, and you don't have to get a realtor because I have a team of 200 experts that will do it for you. But if you can scroll down, Ethan, there was another question right near the bottom that someone said, let's say I had $100,000, what could happen in 10 years by way of cash flow? I'm going to give that math to you right now. If you were to invest let's just say you invested $80,000 in a property. Let's say it was in Florida, one of my growth markets. Over the course of a decade, the goal would be to turn that into about 5 homes. Those 5 homes would probably give you, let me see, we'd probably be sitting somewhere around probably $1 million net worth 10 years from now. And so your positive cash flow on that would probably be sitting around $3,000 a month. If you wait 5 years after that, it's going to triple and it's going to be closer to $10,000 a month. And if you wait 5 years after that, it's going to triple again. Great question.
Yeah, we just got another question from Brian. If I want 12,000 monthly cash flow in 5 years, how many homes do I need? And then he goes on to say, I have 500,000 in equity, 62 years old.
Yeah, so if you're 62 and the first premise was what?
12,000 in cash flow monthly.
If you want $12,000 in cash flow and you have a $500,000 to work with, I'd have to pencil that one out. If you wanted to retire in 5 years, you'd first of all want to invest that into probably 5 or 6 homes. And then you may want to augment by letting me show you how to do some of the no money down creative stuff. If you're willing to be a little bit more active, we can get you to your goal faster. But either way, you've got a good starting capital point. You're in a good spot to be able to win in the game of real estate. By the way, Mitra is in and did a deposit, and just want to say congratulations, excited. My team will get with you and we'll text you and figure that out. I want to do another game plan. Let's do one more question, Ethan.
Okay. Yeah, Jason's asking, can you work with Canadian citizens to buy properties?
With who?
With Canadians.
Yeah, Canadians, Mexicans. I've got partners all over the world. That's a yes.
Cool.
Jessica, we're looking for Jessica, and I'm going to butcher the last name, but I think it's Gutierrez, G-U-T, Jessica, if we can look that up and see if Jessica's here. And Jessica, if you are, it's actually not showing up in the thread, which means you might have to tell me what your handle name is, because it's not posting. Other than that, we might be skipping you for a game plan here. Next, we're going to be looking for James Skinner. Let's see if James is available. We're going to unmute you, James. And we'll see if you come on. James, how you doing? James, if you are there. James Skinner. Okay, so we got James and Jessica that we're waiting to hear back from on doing some game plans. Are either of them? All right. I'm looking for Kyle Kosko. K-Y-L-E and then K-O-S-C-O. Let's just see if Kyle's there. We're having a mix-up between what you guys filled out on the form and what your forms are called. Okay, it looks like Manuela's in. Congratulations. Let's see if Steve is there. Steve Ikpim. Steve I-K-P-I-M. There we go. Steve, we're going to ask to unmute you. Let me know if you're there. My goodness, guys, we're doing game plans tonight. Never had to take this long. Let's see if we can find one more. If not, we're going to look for Clint Birkenbuell. Clint, C-L-I-N-T. There we go. We're going to unmute you, Clint. Let's see if you're on tonight as well.
Yes.
Clint, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. It's good to have you. Thank you for your participation, and I appreciate that. Still looks like it's light out where you're at in the world. Where are you?
West Coast out in Washington.
All right. Which part of Washington?
As far away from Seattle as possible. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
East of Olympia.
Okay. I'm from
It's
Redmond.
Mount Rainier.
Oh, Mount Rainier. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm from Redmond, Washington. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Of course.
Yep. So, Clint, you're an agency owner. Looks like you're making some great income. Looks like you're not putting a lot into retirement, but you do have a house that you're getting pretty close to getting paid off. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. So it looks like you owe about $144,000 on your house that is maybe worth $600,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Any other assets that I should be aware of?
Nothing of any significance.
All right. Well,
A
so
little bit in crypto, but that doesn't really count.
all right. Well, so here's the situation. I actually am really glad that we're doing your game plan. You're an example of someone that has a lot of equity in their home, but you don't really have any other assets. And I don't know if you're a fan of Dave Ramsey, but I just want to say this for everyone out there. If you're trying to pay off your house, I'm not your guy, because I believe that paying off your house is a mistake until you have a passive income that exceeds your income needs. The goal is you can either have a paid off house or you can have a passive income greater than your job. And for me, I think one is a low level of security, one is a high level of security. So you're in a position, Clint, where you got some options, but it's going to require some home equity. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So let's do this calculation. Do you have a home equity line of credit already on your house?
I do not.
Okay.
I've been looking into that over the last week, actually.
If you go to a couple of credit unions, you're probably going to get somewhere right around 400 plus, 420, $400,000. That's what they're going to give you on a line of credit that is connected to the equity in your house. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now I want to slow this down for a minute. Let's just say that you said, I want to take $80,000 of that, and I want to use that as a down payment on a piece of property. How old are you right now, Clint?
53.
53. Okay, so I know that you don't want to retire at 73, but I want to just start by looking at the 20-year game plan, okay?
Okay.
If you buy one house 20 years from now, by the time you're in your early 70s, that has the ability to mature to approximately $20 million. And if you're a 70-30 partner, then approximately $14 million of that is going to be yours. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, I know that you don't want to retire at age 73, so you say, well, Kris, that sounds good at 73. Where would that realistically put me at 65 in 10 years? And I'm going to say it's probably going to put you closer to around $1 million. So that exponential curve between year 10 and 20 does something wild. So you might say, but Kris, $1 million in real estate, that's maybe like $30,000, $40,000 a year. If you wanted to replace your income in 10 years, you would need to do 4 properties. 4 properties is going to get you about $120,000 a year of residual income 10 years from now. And then that number is going to be way bigger with each passing year. Also, that $120,000 is 100% tax-free. Now, with your $400,000 of equity, you actually have enough money to buy 4+ homes. So the good news is your situation matches. If in 10 years you want to be done, then here's my advice. Don't buy 1 house, buy 4 houses.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Absolutely.
Do you have any questions for me on that?
No, I texted over some information.
Good.
And, got a couple of responses back and then filled out that little form and stuff. I just need to talk to somebody really, and get on the move.
Well, let's put this back on the screen. First of all, can everyone give Clint some snaps and just say thanks for letting us dive in financially and take a look at your financial game plan a little bit? Appreciate you, and thank you for your participation tonight. It's been great having you on, Clint. You're in a good spot, buddy. You can get exactly where you want to go. Let's go ahead and actually put this on the screen. Josh, I'm just going to let you know my screen's going out right now. It just came back in. So if we can just put this up, if we can go ahead and put this up, there's a phone number that if you guys want to call, you can text 385-217. There we go. Let's put it up right here. 3477. So Josh Garcia, you should be able to see that now and put that one up. Okay, my team's gonna not put the cords under my feet. And if you guys do that deposit of 997, it's like Clint's situation, he can get with my team, learn about partnering, see if it's a fit. But guys, Clint has other options. I'm also giving him access to my top no money down coach. So on the side, he's got the ability to invest in the game of real estate with money and without money. Fortunately, Clint has enough money to do 4 deals. And if he really wants to retire in 10 years and replace his income, then Clint, like in 6 months, I want to see all 4 of those homes bought. And then you can set it and forget it and you can be well on your way. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Xavier, if you want to drop that in the chat one more time, we'll drop the link, partnerwithkris.com, and that will give you guys the opportunity. It looks like we've got 10 spots left or 11 for those of you that want to consider partnering with me. And so we'll leave that up a little bit longer. And then Ethan, we're going to go back now into some Q&A. Clint, thanks for hopping on. Guys, we're probably going to do a couple more game plans, but really what we're going to focus on right now is just doing some Q&A with the other great questions that are coming in. Yes, and we have Miss Macron that is asking, your lifetime access is everything? Yes, it is everything. And Steve Ickbim, I was trying to get you on for a game plan, but why is paying off your house bad? Please explain. Well, Steve, I can actually tell you. Right now, it looks like you are within $7,000 of paying off your house. So let me give you a good example, Steve. When you pay off your house, you're going to have a good feeling. And by the way, see if, Steve, I don't know what your name, if you want to, there it is. It's right up there. I want to see if we can just unmute Steve and talk to him about this one because he's got a good question here. Steve, go ahead and unmute if you want and hop on and we can talk about your question about why we don't pay off the house. We'll see if you're popping up. It's the top one, Josh. Steve Ickpin. Okay. All right. Well, Steve, we can't hear you if you are trying to talk to us, but let me just kind of share this with you real quick. Paying off your house is a good idea after your residual income. So for example, in your situation, let's theoretically say that you made $100,000 a year. What I would say is when you have $8,000 a month of residual income coming in, now pay off your house. But if all you can do is pay off your house and you can't replace your income, then you've chosen a bad goal. Right now, Dave Ramsey wants everyone to have paid off real estate. They'll spend years trying to pay it off and accelerate it, but they lose their time to invest. I'm making 60% a year on my money. I don't have a year to lose in trying to get out of a debt. How am I going to get out of my debt? By making smart debts that make me money. That will pay off my house. I hope that makes sense. So Steve, it's not that it's bad. It's about the sequence and the order in which we do things. All right, next question.
Yeah, Judy's asking, I own a home and rent it already, but have about 500,000 in equity in it. Should I sell or no? I have cash flow from it.
So Judy, you have cash flow on your house with $500,000 of equity, but one of my rules on investment properties, once it's worth more than $400,000, I have to sell it. It's too risky. In a market downturn in your submarket, you're gonna lose a lot of equity. So what would I do? I would sell it. Why? You have $500,000 of equity. I could go buy 6 more houses. The cash flow on the 6 houses are way more than your cash flow on 1 house. So in other words, if 1 house tastes good, 6 houses tastes 6 times better. More house, more good. You're a fan of real estate, but your problem is you're stuck with 1. You want to be stuck with 100. Good question. Ethan, we're going to do about 5 more questions before we wrap up our evening tonight.
Okay, awesome. Miss Macon is asking, do you help people who have a portfolio already that
Yes.
could use some restructuring?
I have a lot of partners with portfolios that need restructuring. Here's the common mistake. You'll go and buy a few investment properties and then you try and pay them off. And you'll say, but Kris, that did so good for me. And I said, great, but instead of 3 homes, you were supposed to have 30. And then they agree, 30 is way more than 3. It's way better. It's 10 times the benefit. So if you're coming to me with an existing portfolio, I am going to evaluate it. We're going to look at the ROIs and we're going to determine whether they're actually good deals or not. If they're not, we're going to sell them and restructure into better deals. The good deals we'll totally keep.
All right, let's see here.
Guys, we're going to be
skip the
wrapping up
ones.
my guesses in about 5 or 7 minutes. So if you are planning on connecting with my team tonight to determine whether we're going to do something together, whether it's, hey, Kris, I might need financing. I want to know how to do the no money down real estate, or I just want to put some equity in my home at you or my 401k. Kris, grow it. Whether you are looking for no money down deals or money down deals, I'm here to help you with both. Please pay the deposit, talk to my team. If we're a fit, it'll apply to your partnership. If not, we're just going to part as friends and we'll refund your money.
Awesome. Let's see here. CJ is asking, is there a guarantee?
Yeah. The guarantee is that we will never do deals with less than a 25% ROI. Like that. Other than that, the only other guarantee is that eventually you would die and eventually I will die. But outside of that, my program is too strong. It doesn't need guarantees because like I said, I have 2,000 partners and we're buying real estate like crazy and we're crushing it.
Weirdo is asking, is this the BRR, the Burr method?
No, we're not really using the Burr method. I respect it. It's a lower ROI.
Cool. Let's see.
Marianne says, what does financing look like? Pay the deposit, talk to my team. Everyone's financing looks different. So I don't know exactly what it would look like for you, but my team will determine that for you.
Let's see. Other people about partnering with you, but with bad credit. Is there options?
Yeah, if you don't have good credit, then I'm going to show you how to invest in real estate where your credit isn't needed. So let me take a moment and go a little deeper on this. Let's say you have a credit hiccup. By the way, I own so much real estate, banks won't lend to me. So what do? I use DSCR loans. I go and I'll pool money together of my partners. We'll buy a home cash. And then I go to the bank and say, look at the performance on the rental. Give me 60% of that out of that. And the bank says, I'll do that, but I need a personal guarantee. And I say, Kris Krohn will give you a personal guarantee. And then I get the money out of the house and I use it to go buy more houses. So if you have a credit problem, that's not a problem for me. Never let a bank, never let your credit, never let your bank account determine what you can and can't do in life. There's always a workaround.
Awesome. IRE47 is asking, Kris, we're on the cusp of buying 2 houses with you for the $250,000 we have in an IRA.
Awesome.
They're just wondering how, do you work with your team to arrive at the best deals, or do you just leave it totally up to your team?
Well, first of all, I am my team. And so when we're getting ready to do 2 deals, if I were to put, like, if you look at my Krohn Consortium document that I'm emailing everyone tonight, and you look at my last 100 deals, here's what you'll see. They are all identical. They're homogenous. And it means that with slight variation, my buy box is so narrow that the results are very standardized across the board. So if my team puts 2 deals in front of you and you turn them down, they'll put 2 more down in front of you and they're basically the same deals. And if you turn those down, then my team's not going to give you deals because they're all good deals. I have very high standards. Remember, my average ROI is 60%. On my performas, I have to see a minimum of 25%. On average, we see 30, and in actuality, we double that. So you don't have to shop around like, oh, which partners get better deals? It's like, actually, my buy box is so tiny, they're all amazing. Make sense? Great question.
Yeah. Let's see. June Lee's asking, what's a DSCR for?
It's just a type of loan. It's a type of loan where it's a different debt to loan ratio, and it's based on the equity. It's based on the cash flow and the financials of the home versus the borrower. So when you typically go to a bank, they're basically giving you a loan by determining your creditworthiness. In this situation, they're determining the finance feasibility and the success of the house itself. It's a different kind of loan.
Okay, I got a good one here. Mason's asking, should I buy my first property in one of the 5 markets and then rent it out? Or should I buy local and house hack to start?
First of all, buy local and house hack, put your 3% down. Do not move to one of these markets. Those are the markets that you invest in. Live in a market you want to live in. Great question. Okay, guys, we got time for one more question before I wrap it up. Right now, Ryan says, I would totally love to do it, but I have to get money for the $997 to get started. I understand that, guys. All I'm going to say is get creative and figure out in life what you can do. I've tried to make my programs as available to the masses as possible. I love rooting for the underdog. I ask for very little skin in the game for producing these multi-million-dollar results. When it's right for you, come back and play. I can't guarantee that you're going to get a deal like we got tonight because I've never given out this aggressive of a deal because of the excess homes that I have in the market. And then Israel says, could I talk with you? My partners get to talk with me, Israel. So you got to become a partner if you want to have more of a one-on-one interaction. So I get that. Ryan says, I'll be right back. I got you. Julene, by the way, says, I owe $83,000 on my house in Brooklyn, but it's worth about $1 million. And I don't have money. He's like, yeah, that's your problem, Julene. Julene, the good news is you have $900,000 of equity. If I had $900,000 of equity, that would be sitting in 10 homes because 10 homes makes me more money than a Brooklyn home that is 90% paid off. More homes, more better. But Julian, if you feel like you don't have money, pay the deposit. Josh, go ahead and put that up on screen one last time for the evening. Talk to my team and let them explore options. A lot of my people, a lot of my partners are cash poor. They have equity, but they really don't have anything else. I can fix that. I can help get you where you want to go. And yes, Dr. Abras, can my wife watch on the replay later? Yes, the replay will be going out likely tomorrow. And then Ryan Newby says, I'm the Terminator. I love it. Okay. Last question, Ethan.
Awesome. So last question. So we had a lot of people asking, really, how passive is this? How much work did they need to put in? Are they going to be very active every single month?
Yeah. So tonight we've talked about two options. We've talked about a partner option where you put up the money and I do the work. You're going to put in about 2 to 3 hours on your first house, 1 hour on your second house, and then an hour on each house after. That's it. You just get a monthly report and you look at it. It takes you 2 minutes and you're done. So it's 100% passive. When you decide to, if you want to do the no money down real estate, you're going to coach with my team. My team is going to take you under their wing. They're going to review deals. We're going to teach you. You're going to probably spend 5 or 10 hours a week, and we're going to show you how to do deals on the side. How much time you put in is up to you.
Sorry, I'm going to sneak one more question in. It's just a good one. Shay just put it in the last second. How does it make you more money if mortgages are high versus rent?
How does it make you more money if mortgages are high?
So like, how are you making money right now since interest rates are high, mortgages are high? You know, what if you can't get rent that's equal to or greater than your mortgage?
So first of all, am I going to buy a house where I'm going to be upside down in negative cash flow? Never. Like, why would I do a deal like that? That might be a novice deal that you might look at, but that's not a deal that I'm going to do. Remember, I'm in the best markets with the most favorable rates, and everything is stacked in my favor. So I'm going to get the best of everything, the best growth, the best appreciation, and the best cash flow. Second of all, I want to go back to this question on interest rates. What happens with the interest rates go up or down? All it does is affect cash flow a little bit. And cash flow is the smallest of the 4 ROIs. So a lot of people are like, oh shoot, I don't know if I really want to do a deal where I have a, where I have an 8% rate instead of a 7% rate. I'm like, it's the difference between a 60% ROI and a 59.5% ROI. In other words, the ROI is so hot, don't even look at the interest rate. Great question. Guys, I want to thank you so much for being here tonight. I always get, Josh, if you can put that up one last time, I always get the last minute person. We're about to cut the feed, but I always get a last minute person that's like, well, no, I just wanted to listen to Q&A and then I didn't get the link and I didn't get to do the thing. Go to Partner with Kris Krohn, go to partnerwithkris.com, pay the deposit. If it doesn't work out, you get your money back. If it does work out, you are going to be a happy partner, whether we're doing no money down real estate or we're doing money down real estate, because I've got all the options to help you create the portfolio that you want. Just know this, Ray is asking, how do I join? Well, after you pay the deposit, my team will text you tonight and they'll determine whether we're a good fit for each other. If you guys have a question, you can call that number, but write it down, because once the feed is gone, the feed is gone. I'm going to find my 20 partners, and I want to thank you all for joining tonight. God bless you all for giving me the greatest gift that you have to offer, which is your time. I was very happy to give you mine. If we don't do anything together, I hope you at least walk away saying, I learned something. By the way, if you learned something tonight and it gave you expanded perspective, drop a 4 in the chat. I would love to see if there's some of you here that are walking away feeling smarter and brighter and more knowledgeable, or more prepared for down the road what to do. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for dropping all of the love in the comments there. And then with that, for those of you that are going to move forward, I just want to say congratulations to my partners. We'll figure it out in the next couple of days. We're going to go crush it. 2025 and 2026, 27 and 28. The next 4 years with this administration is going to be so amazing. How do I know that? Because the last time Trump was in office, it was amazing. And he's doing it even bigger and better this time than ever before. So get off your butt, take advantage of your financial future, take life the bull by the horn, seize the day. It's your time. And with that, guys, God bless. Thank you for being here tonight.